Funny Astro can play the cat. And it doesn't really play it the same vein that Violet does, like nobody does, right? You know, the comfort pick here for Twisted Minds in the past have been Juno in these types of situations. And maybe that's why you get rid of the Tracer as well, because the Tracer would kind of feast on Juno.
She's not the most nimble of supports, a little floatier, a little more susceptible to Endovon, but still offers that team-wide speed boost that you'll be looking for in lieu of the Lucio. An iconic battlefield to begin an iconic series. And like I said to Puckett earlier, feels like the defining stylistic matchup of this era of Overwatch. A battle of regions, a battle of ideas, a battle of philosophies, a battle of game plans, you name it. These two sit on other sides of the very same spectrum. Best of 7, Matt. First to 4, whichever way you want to say it. We're hoping we've got a series on our hand that goes all the way. And hey, this is a good start.
We had a little bit of a run, you and I. I'm not seeing that pause screen pop up, but you know, hey, this match is too important. Got to make sure everybody is in the best of spots to do it. It looked like at the start we will get maybe a Juno here out of Funny Astro, as that seems to be kind of the go-to with that Lucio gone. And you know, for Proper, I mean, he would just be hunting him constantly on the Tracer. You mentioned it. You know, Juno can kind of doesn't have like the greatest mobility, and then the mobility is very floaty. Sounds like this is a mouse pad.
It might be too dry. The Quartz's mouse pad could be too dry. We don't like dry mouse pads up in this.
Sounds like we'll get this one sorted pretty quickly, though, as we've had some. I feel like we've
had some novel concepts.
We've had some wild ones.
Causes, yeah. The Korean, by the way, on that shield reads, "Nothing is given, everything is earned." Been wondering about that all week. Makes sense.
And for me, like, when I look at ZETA, like it's really the backline. Like, Violet is playing Jetpack Cat in a way that, you know, nobody else is doing. Like, he would be kind of my standout player, my like MVP for me. Yeah, like a lot of teams are playing Cat, they're playing Bastion, but the way he's like, you know, kind of maneuvering all of his teammates around the map, right? Not just kind of locked on to the Bastion, flying him around, moving the Ana, moving other players, and then also the amount of damage and, you know, kill potentially he has. Put him on another level.
Here we go. Tonight's ZETA Division, Twisted Minds decide where an era ends and whether another is ready yet to begin. The super team versus a team whose team play sets them above the rest. Twisted Minds already making use of that Sim TP to try and angle for decent positioning, unsurprisingly. Proper's gone to the Shion. We have Emra for Knife.
I think for Twisted Minds, right? You're just trying to figure out how you can make use of this TP, take out some of these targets that are not as mobile, and there goes Knife right away.
Heavy trades, Yubi somehow not getting flattened despite trying to fight a demon 1 versus 1. Eventually Violet commands enough attention to get the elimination. The TVNT is still at large. He simply lacks teammates, though, to bolster his claim. Violet still picked off by TVNT, and maybe a chance to filter with a few more players back in, but it looks like ZETA will be first cap off the rank for capture.
You're going to see a lot of fights like that, though, right? You know, ZETA not able to rotate as fast as, let's say, a Twisted Minds. Obviously, Juno's speed ring, Sim TP available to kind of get them into positions. By that time, they actually just see Knife, you know, just collapse onto the Emre. I mean, look at this.
It is.
Stuff like this.
The playmaking potential. Quartz. Oh my goodness. Hit with the bio, but it looks like Simples actually has the Suzu just in time. Quartz still falls, but it's a big commitment for ZETA into that one position. It comes at the cost of Benar and his mech. You might have to commit to some degree now as well to try and salvage this, but Shu is traded for Funny Astro. ZETA Division, though, for now, gonna have to give a bit of space up here. Notice that TVNT shepherding everybody onto the point here to try and get Twisted Minds in position to contest it properly. With Knife going down, I feel like that's gonna come true.
I mean, you just see how different that ZETA plays, right? It's an off angle that Shu has, throws the biotic grenade in there. You see Benar go in, but who's really the first one leading the charge? It's Violet getting in the mix there. Quartz takes out Shu with a railgun. That'll force ZETA to back up a bit here. Violet with the cat ult here.
He's really just going to try and break line of sight, diving in, but for what? Okay, he's got him to... Devo with a self-destruct here is triggered. ZETA have to respond by spreading out, taking cover away from the blast. Twisted Minds completely undisrupted there by that jetpack cat ultimate being committed. There's Knife, run into the ground. TVNT grinds him into dust. But Proper gets a nano boost here. He's just being a little bit conservative about how he wants to make use of it though. No commitment, and Twisted Minds are allowed to continue to get up to parity.
And their teamwork is so good. You're able to just constantly punish, right? They take the early fight. They punish Shu off the rip. They also get a DMAC there onto Bernard. Violet takes another railgun shot there from Quartz. Gonna play off the Mega here. Wrap around. Gonna try and put some pressure on Point.
Might be looking to threaten the back cap. He doesn't want to linger too long in Quartz's line of sight. Here's the override protocol from extreme range, and it's a pretty comfortable Symmetra wall to answer this. Wow, TVNT heads up from him. Sees the Knife is going to be an easy target, and he runs him into the ground. Oh, the railguns. Perfection from Quartz. And he has a bit of room to breathe, but Violet takes that space and takes the fight. The jetpack cat again silences Quartz's riot, but Twisted Minds still have a comfortable lead now, and Bernard's being staggered.
He's gonna get staggered out. Let's take a look at this from Quartz's POV again. The OC, just does not miss. Unreal play there. Just one more shot. It'll actually be Quartz going over in here and playing the Xion. Okay. Something we don't see that often really at all.
I think they're trying to turn the heat up onto Violet potentially, or Shu especially. More backline pressure, don't want to let this Ana do whatever. I guess Quartz can't rely on random railgun headshots to, win the fight. There's TVNT though, they've found Shu. The Ana is taken down yet again, and TVNT, love that from you. Knife will fall as well, and Twisted Minds, as soon as they got back into the round, they get a grip on the point that cannot be broken. White-knuckled as it may have been, this has been sublime from them.
TVNT's been like the best diva in the world for probably about a year now, and kind of shows you why they're in round number 1. This is such an important map for ZETA as well. This is the Lucio ban, right? I mean, that's like Funny Astro's bread and butter, and it doesn't matter. I mean, a lot of these highlights are going to be TVNT and Quartz just carving them up.
It's a matchup of the best hit scan player in the world versus the best DPS player in the world, but so far this has all been about Quartz. The fact that Twisted Minds don't have to play a backline dive component and still punish Shu's positioning on Ana, it's not something you see every day, Matt.
If you can keep punishing the positioning of the Ana, right, that's going to force Zeta Division get off this comp. It'll be Reaper here. And, we've done a few Zeta Division games, and, you're pretty, Reaper, obviously, you can be impactful, but it limits kind of the skill ceiling here of Proper and his ability to just kind of take over the round.
I feel like forcing Shu off Ana would be more than just a moral victory, Matt. It would feel like the surrender of Zeta Division's idea, their whole value proposition. He was the first casualty here, though, as Twisted Minds haven't quite made their way out into the open. A little slower to get in position. Although, look at TVNT making that space. Bernard's trying to bypass him, trying to ignore him, trying to get into the back line. And he trades Quartz for his mech. With Violet picking up Funny Astro, that might be enough, but it's very, very scrappy, very close fight.
TVNT, they DMAC Bernard here as well. You're going to have TVNT pretty healthy. UB here as well. I don't know if without any Matrix, you're going to be able to kind of just stand here and take it. TVNT is going to have to back up just a bit. You're going to get both supports back.
Oh, what a pick off there from Shu. Wow. Finally getting some revenge. Hasn't quite been able to spec into that second perk that allows him to hit critical shots. We saw Bernard trade his mech for Quartz's life earlier on. Felt like it made it hard for Twisted Minds positionally, though, not having a diva.
TM's going to farm up this rush here just off of TVNT, taking some damage in the choke. I try and TP and use it on top. Look at how safe this position is from Shu, though. I mean, nobody on top of him yet, but look at this fast rotation from TM.
I like this idea. TM might need a TP to really close the gap on it properly, though. Here's Kitsune rush now. TVNT just trying to control the midfield as his backline's being pressured. Violet over the top with a catnap. TVNT dragged out of the way, making it harder for him to peel for his own teammates. But now TVNT's got another plan. Upstairs, he notices Knife glinting in the darkness, and he wants to go for him. But Bernard has struck at the core of Twisted Minds before TVNT can do the same. And Zeta, at 70%, are on the run home in this round.
Much better look from Zeta here. Bernard and Proper are putting a ton of pressure on the back line. And I think also it's a little bit of the way the map here, the round that we're on, is designed. It just allows Shu to play so safe.
This ends now.
Yeah, he's still chilling, sitting right on back. Knife with an overclock now, spending most of the damage on TVNT. It looks like ZETA Division have decided that D.Va is the core of their opponent's strategy. TVNT's not going to survive this, folks. He got slept. He won't be allowed to get back into his mech. Not that the stagger was necessary, but the D.Va falls last, and Twisted Minds won't be able to get in position. We're going to a decider on Busan.
Round 2, just an absolute drubbing there. ZETA just kind of dominate TM as you just see the position that Shu is able to play from at such a distance that they're never able to, the TP length is not that long, right? You're not able to just kind of go cross map with it, put pressure on the Ana right away.
For me, Matt, what's most definitive is TVNT getting dragged out of a position to peel for his teammates by that catnapping. Bernardus runs in and gets 3 kills, and that feels like that's where it crumbles for Twisted Minds. It wasn't even like an environmental kill, it wasn't anything flashy, it was just stop D.Va from protecting the backline.
Yeah, I mean, they're just playing on such back foot defensively. Is now it'll be Proper going back to the Reaper there, just a TP out. It'll be Knife playing the Bastion here. Is we've seen them put Shu up on this high ground, also makes him a very difficult target. It'll be Cassidy the swap here for Quartz.
Nothing could be more Twisted Minds versus ZETA Division than this kind of lineup. It does mean the Proper's on the Reaper, so it gets less of a headlining role, but a very important job nonetheless. Flying low is Knife. Chopper gunner active. Bernardo's trying to control that space in between, make it harder to run up on the jetpack cat combination. And there's Knife. Yubi's been taken down. That's going to remove your maneuverability, but Violet got a little bit too aggressive there. Porte is always going to punish that.
So they're going to go back to the choke here. Been trying to brute force it through this way. It's going to be very difficult though without Yubi's TP, right? And then also you see the threat of Shu up there on the high ground. So Yubi fires some shots at him as well.
Here just playing that middle ground, eventually brought down by Yubi. Think about the damage here. Well, Twisted Minds are going to fall back on this. They still need to find a cap, but that should be a matter of course now that they've got Bernard properly desuited.
And you see why they take this position when we get on Shu's POV. Shu up there on the high ground, right? All he has, once they cross under and they're under that bridge, is the ability to throw like one bio. Where ZETA has to fight, he's not able to get any line of sight there. So it's a really nice idea from Twisted Minds, kind of take the fight on their terms, breaking LOS of Shu on the Ana. There'll be a nano here available, potentially for Proper or the Bastion.
Such a nice open sideline from Porte, but it is under assault. This wall, though, is going to make it all too easy. Knight quickly had to get dragged out of the way because his Cassidy is going to take the game over. Now Quartz can rotate back to the high ground and ideally abuse a Deadeye to really force ZETA Division away. As Simple are going down to a grenade here. Knife is starting to cut deep. As Yubi was dragged straight off the map. It's quite clear to see who's probably going to be number 1 for Violet is anyway.
Kitsune rush invested there by Twisted Minds. It'll be both support ults used with the artillery for ZETA Division. I wonder if ZETA decides, yeah, you see that pushing up a little bit. I wonder if you decide to take a fight pretty quickly here with Proper's Death Blossom. Maybe you kind of get that Reaper lurking like we saw in the last map. It's going to be a TP straight to the point. They're going to try and set up this bunker with these sim turrets yet again.
Yeah, same look. There's also an early Suzu. Oh my god, this is about as bunker as it gets now with the orbital ray being thrown in, and it still doesn't matter because Proper has the damage in spades. Quartz and Funny Astro are run off the map. And ZETA Division very quickly snap back into control.
Yeah, this Reaper is definitely paid off. Obviously, Sim very squishy, so Reaper able to kind of deal with her relatively quickly.
Bunker buster.
Let's see what TM decides to do. It'll be Cat Bastion for them.
Okay. A little bit of a rare look, but we've seen Twisted Minds go for it. Shoot, yep, he's got his critical hit perk now. Biotic grenade. Oh, it wasn't even needed necessarily. Twisted Minds struggling here to hold on. 81% and counting. Fortunately, they all died really quickly.
Yeah, they've got another fight here. But this round has been pretty bad for them as well. Quartz over to the Xion. Probably for the extra mobility. artillery used here by Knife, trying to deny them the touch.
A bit awkward. Violet gets brought down. TVNT just runs at the jetpack. It's a huge opening if it's Twisted Minds. Away, back into the round perhaps. A lot of pressure on Shu. No supports remaining here for Zeta Division. This is a good look for Twisted Minds. And it comes at a moment too soon, but as Bernard found himself a couple. TVNT on the D-suit removed here. It's on Quartz and Simple. The former can only ride away. They at least got the flip. There's going to be some touches here, though. They don't have Tracer to work with. Remember that. That was banned out by Twisted Minds, so the touch won't come in. And your defending world champions are put on the back foot earlier than we might have thought.
TM's found themselves in this spot before. They end up losing early to Weibo. There's a huge map for Zeta Division, right? That Lucio ban, one of the really impactful ones against Twisted Minds, who needed to win this map. They pull it out in the end. One round that's pretty dominant for Twisted Minds. The other two, very strong for Zeta Division.
I've got to say, the bunker look for Twisted Minds is pretty decent. This cracked it wide open. Proper's Death Blossom. Look, it's nothing. It's not the prettiest roll to pick up, but it's still an important one nonetheless. Knife here being able to perk obviously into firing those mortar rounds. It's really dangerous to group up and play into that as a collective.
Well, round one, they were doing a great job of just kind of going at Shu constantly. We're not able to do that in the next round. Let's go down to the stage with the Twisted Minds crew.
Yes, I'm very glad to be with the co-owner and extremely good human being, Fancy! And the Twisted Mind boys. Wow, Fancy, what happened on that semi-final before? That was insane. Can you tell me about your nerves? How are you handling all of this? Do you think you're going to be chilling on this final?
I'm not going to lie to you, the semi-final was a little bit of nerve-wracking, but if they can pull a reverse sweep once, they can do it again, and that's what's going to happen here, even if we lose map one, it's fine.
Especially with that kind of support. Donc moi, je suis pas du tout inquiet. S'ils ont pu faire un reverse sweep en demi-finale, ils peuvent le faire en finale également. And talking about a little gem in your team, there is a player that was appointed the best in the world last year, Quartz. Can you tell me what you think of this little gem in your team? Are you feeling a bit like a proud dad when you see him play?
I mean, Porte has been one of the most consistent players in the DPS role for the past, 5-6 years. And it makes me so happy to see him improve year by year. And then right now, he is crowned the best player in the world. And it shows. He's in the grand final for the Esports World Cup. Can't ask him for anything more, honestly.
Quartz, the best player in the world. Donc effectivement, je suis très fière de mon joueur. Pour moi, c'est le meilleur joueur du monde. Il est hyper constant. Ça fait des années que c'est comme ça. Et je suis évidemment très fière de le voir sur scène. Et il y a bien une raison pour laquelle il joue en grande finale. And last but not least, guys, I've understood that your favorite host is not me, it's Ian. Because you've been teaching him chants and everything. So can you teach me anything?
Go ahead, tell her. Show her.
She wants us to show how we cheer. And I will say, we don't need an explanation. Twister! Twister!
Twister!
Let's go!
I've covered a lot of Overwatch lands. We've been around for a while, Matt. I'm coming up on my 10th year of doing this, and crowds like this, fan bases like this, you don't see many like that. It's quite the boon for Twisted Minds to have these dedicated supporters in their corner, and frankly, Matt, they're going to need them today.
Yeah, it's going to be obviously a really tough game here against Zeta Division. So you see Porte's kind of going over everything with comp ops here as we get ready for game number 2. But yeah, I mean, their fan base has been awesome, right? You know, traveling the world and obviously growing with the success they've had as their Overwatch team. They're starting to rack up some wins. Zeta Division, though, I mean, this team was built to kind of take tournaments like this, right? Obviously fell short at Champions Clash, but coming into this event, obviously kind of looking on a different level, I think. Obviously with Shu and Violet and Proper, you can do things that a lot of other teams just can't do, right? So give yourself a little bit of a tactical advantage always in the server. I'm curious, okay, so TM staple, right? Neon Junction. It's also like you never want to go to probably Paraiso and Eichenwald until those cool reworks come out.
Yeah.
We saw Mizuki and then the Reinhardt ban. So yeah, this is a good read from Zeta Division. They use the Reinhardt here a lot. Mizuki ban is going to empower TVNT on the Diva. a lot.
Seen the Mizuki Sig as a fallback option here, but again, you know you don't want to go there. We've seen more recently Twisted Minds try that Diva look. Frankly, behind you know, the Sim play, I feel like this is such a classic look for Twisted Minds. Sim, Diva, Sojourn, you name it. I don't think they need the Reinhardt, but I certainly think they need to ban it here. It's been the highlight map, I think, of this entire event so far, man. Everyone wants to go to
every hybrid map has been Neon Junction.
And everyone's got their own take on it too.
Yeah.
I do think Twisted Minds is the most striking look. ZETA want to open here with the Orisa.
So Orisa has seen way more playtime than I think anybody expected at this tournament. Looks like Proper's going to go back and make a change. I wonder if this is like Tracer, Reaper instead of Xion. We'll see what he decides. Nope, gonna go out with the Xion.
Okay.
So, looked like he was going back, maybe making some changes, gonna go with the Xion here. It's Twisted Minds. This is the bread and butter comp, right? I mean, this is
them.
Yeah, this is how they become world champions. This exact setup right here, so.
Yeah, they've been faithful to it, and it has treated them very well over the last 12 months. Finding another championship chip with it wouldn't hurt either. Shu here on the Ana. It's a signature look for this team, but Benar and Violet are both struggling. Violet can't get any healing from anybody right now. And that is a knife
like 1 HP.
Just shouldn't be alive there. A little fortunate, ZETA.
We're gonna get dodge as well. Both supports here for TM, hit with a bio.
Proper tried to commit into the bio backline here, Matt. So did Benar, they're running at them, but I think the window might have closed here for ZETA Division. No, Knife still able to find Yubi. But have there been enough more than they can chew? Nice javelin's been there for Benar as the pressure comes down on him. TVNT eventually crumbles. And ZETA Division looked on the ropes early in this fight. Actually come out looking pretty flawless.
Yeah, it's a beautiful follow-up there of that bio grenade. It takes a little bit, but Benar on the Orisa, just so disruptive, right? When the Orisa gets in the mix, it's going to be a fast push here for TM. Going to just get the TP set up. Everybody else going to back up here. For ZETA, Catnap available.
Up we go, looking for the way to drop on in. Kitsune rush here for Simple, and Violet is going on a long mission behind enemy lines. Almost 2 ticks here. ZETA Division seem like they're planning to allow this, and Violet just gets caught out. I don't know what he's doing back there, but Quartz is not going to let that stand. Now the catnap approach is done. You've got to throw what you have at this fight, see if you can get it out.
That's insane.
Yeah, Proper and Shu already down. This is very good news for Twisted Minds fans. Now they can just run it on in.
And that's how Violet's played the entire tournament, though, right?
That's the biggest weakness you can exploit on this team.
Yeah, I mean, he's just been so good throughout it, but you know, getting into back lines, lurking, now he's going to have Proper to work with. So this, you know, maybe not with the Mog in the mix, but this like Tracer with the Cat has been probably the best. Oh, they actually go with a Catnap here. They're going to drag TVNT into the Mog blender.
There's no, oh, wait, okay, I was going to say no point go for the self-destruct there for TVNT. He knows it's over. What can he do with this though? How do you really set up? Maybe it's just about establishing a foothold somewhat deeper so you can play the Malga up on this corner and cast.
Absolutely, and you know that they're going to have somewhat of an ultimate advantage. You're making 4 changes with your comp, right? So basically just kind of using that catnap there, allowing them to take a fight earlier is pretty huge.
Override Protocol meets the Symmetra wall. Knight trying to play both sides of the coin here. Decent damage being put down, but it's just not happening quickly enough. Bunny Astro, the only casualty. There's Yubi at least getting picked off, but Knife desperately tapping away with the Siphon Blaster, surrounded by enemies. It's not a good look. And Twisted Minds, with plenty of time up their sleeve, are well and truly on the way.
Yeah, and TM ends up holding on to both of their support ults, which is pretty massive there, right? As Knife is going to switch over and match the Sojourn. I think that's kind of what they're playing for there at ZETA Division. You're trying to like put that pressure on a Funny Astro, maybe feel the need for them to call out a beat, kind of give yourself some chance here in our next fight. Proper just putting some pressure here on the Simple, gets healed up right away. Yubi finds Violet, that's huge.
Yeah, not enough attention to get heads turning there for Prophet. And Quartz as overclock creates a vastly louder overture. Prophet did get Simple in the end, but again, like, this is just taking too long. We know he's good for one map, but ZETA need more.
Yeah, I mean, he's just trying to dance his way out of this here. It looks like Twisted going to get very close. You do have a sound barrier here for them to use.
Proper still in the back line, very deep, looking for Simple yet again, hoping to spawn camp him, but in the meantime his team are struggling. Knife in a very awkward position there, getting overrun by TVNT, who doubles back, and Shu is found yet again by Quartz. Nobody, and I mean nobody's doing it like this guy right now. One after another, he lays waste to this super team.
And I mean, it's massive, right? I mean, Proper's pulse bomb gets eaten there on with Quartz when he had the benefits of the sound barrier, just pushes on through, clicking heads, just doing what Quartz does. But something you may have noticed during that as well is like, Simple doesn't fall too Proper there at the start, just like, you know, forces recall by so much time, doesn't allow that Tracer to get back in the fight. It's Proper over to the Vendetta, so Vendetta Maga, Violet now off of the Cat, so this is, tells you that TM is definitely causing some problems here on Neon Junction.
They're looking rock solid, man. Okay, Cage Fight comes out from Bernard, but who's going to help him? Cardiac Overdrive pop pretty much instantly, but the cage is now down. Yubi's having to burn through it finally. Now released from the confines, the ties that bind. Quartz is looking to punish this Vendetta. Kitsune Rush though gets respect from Twisted Minds. They know they've got a bit of room to work with, so they just TP out and wait it out.
We'll see how good Proper is on the Vendetta. And you have to kind of like manage those big movement cooldowns as you're trying to play around this Sim TP. Knife now with an OC. It's going to be Quartz using his high ground, then TP's back low.
One headshot's going to change the fight, just one, but Knife is searching and probing and coming up with nothing. Twisted Minds again, Fun and Mini disengaged. Now a sound barrier, and that's going to herald a renewed conflict. In they dive as Quartz will assume this high ground now. He's got a lot of space, but he's got to make something off it. And that's a nice little rally there from Violet, but of course his tendencies always take him very deep behind enemy lines. A 1-for-1 though, Bernard is able to control this space effectively, playing alongside Proper will clear some of these turrets away. And ZETA Division continue to put up a decent defense, but Proper's going to double back. Bernard's also low and he's being chased. He's not going to be allowed to get away. Surely TVNT finally warded away by the broadside of the blade, but Proper is overextended.
Yeah, it just goes in way too deep there. Say it's sort of back up because they just had Violet alive, Shu coming off the spawn. And then I think Proper thinks they're going to be able to get TVNT. He decides to go. Bernard with a stomp does take out Yubi. It'll be a Russian response here for TM as they feel like they can close this out.
Yeah, Twisted Minds having to get their hands dirty apparently. It is utter chaos, pandemonium. But that's a ZETA Division's own design, and Twisted Minds have decided they thrive there too. Shu is run down. Quartz away by the front door. And over 90 seconds still remain in the round for Twisted Minds to get this done. Bernard's going to be healthy. Hale and Hardy hit at the carpet, eventually dropped low. Cardiac Overdrive used, Suzu used. There's nothing left to keep him standing. Sundering Blade from a little off angle there. No real connection. It's Bernard falling. TVNT though down with a Venture in play. They are going to dig up some dirt here on Twisted Minds. Violet finds Yubi, and somehow this defensive ZETA Division has found the winner to thrive.
Sundering Blade, the damage is pretty good. TVNT forced to use self-destruct. Shu comes back. Kitsune Rush, that's enough to do it. ZETA might be able to hold here, Mitch, which should be tremendous. I mean, cage fight available. All out aggression from ZETA with the Vendetta and Venture Comp.
This is the answer we thought we might see to the Symmetra. Bernard cage fight, look at how quickly it burns down though. The damage is just insane. Quartz finds Violet with a railgun headshot, and Proper might have got his in the fight, but just one won't cut it. Twisted Minds a little belatedly get about completion with time to spare.
And the Vendetta usually a really strong kind of counter to the Sim. We also saw a lot of times Bernard is actually waiting for the TP to come through to then start the charge, and then TM's doing a nice job of like kind of baiting. They'll all take the TP, the charge is coming through, they know they'll TP back out, leaves the Maga without charge, and then just kind of miles away. Violet shows us some nice brig play towards the end. Great beat from Funny Astro. Bernard just burned down instantly, and I mean, look, Proper has all his eyes on Quartz. Finally gets him, but turns around, all his teammates are dead.
I mean, it's unbelievably difficult to manage your health pool as Malga at this level. Especially when you sort of run out into the open. Suzu, Cardiac Overdrive, everything. I mean, it's astonishing to me that ZETA Division made up that 1 minute at the end of the round. It was like a minute 40 on the clock. Bernard runs out, and somehow they turn that into a fight win. For me, that if they win, it's because of that.
Let's take a look at some of the stats. Quartz, you know, as usual, getting the better of the hit scan battle. And I wonder now if you are ZETA Division, right? Like, what's your go-to here on offense? Twisted Minds, we obviously know what we're going to see on D. Do they feel confident enough in their Vendetta playstyle to potentially play that on offense? Sonic Arrow over the top here.
If anyone is going to do it, it's ZETA Division.
So Proper wants to go to Venture here instead of the Vendetta. No, Venture was a very good sim kind of go-to against it. No, before Vendetta was added to the game. It's going to be
Zarya!
Zarya, yeah.
Okay. We saw this a lot from Team Liquid primarily. Attack playing a ton of Zarya through these games. A ton of reasons to like it. Proper gets bubbles, right, which is in turn going to give Benar a lot of charge.
I mean, Proper really has no access to that high ground, though. I mean,
I think they're trying to force Twisted Minds to come to them. Okay, well, you say that, Matt, but I see Proper in the ground.
Dashing on and right up, using all the cooldowns to get up there.
Importantly, though, Proper gets there. Interesting. See how Venture can shape the fate of this series. Still a lot of limitations, though, in this pick, and Proper just has to play safe for the time being, but Force is just going to dominate on that sideline. Twisted Minds can bounce back to that higher ground whenever they kind of need to, and it's also tough for Benar to play into this situation, surrounded by a lot of people that outrange them. Good damage, charged up, well and truly. But Tidable.
I mean, you lose Shu. I thought if you could have kept Shu alive. I mean, Bernard is so much charge on the Zarya. Barely going to make it out. TVNT is going to come back on the D.Va yet again. Going to keep trying with this D.Va. It is 2 ticks gain here by ZETA.
The container rush going to be mirrored here. Shu lets his go as soon as possible. Venture's still looking for an off angle. See Proper there at the top of your screen now on their left-hand side is going in. Both Sojourns have found picks, and they've both been other DPS. Knife, though, had to trade out his life for his opponents. Force just stands inside this grab. He's got nowhere else to be, and Shu eventually is going to excise him with a kunai. Proper's Tectonic Shock will be saved, ideally. No bubble to give him right now, so he does fall. That's a pretty important pick in terms of tempo, but we're almost at capture here for ZETA Division. Eventually, they brawled and bullied their way into the map.
Twisted holds on to just about everything there. Coming into the next fight, it's Bernard. As soon as that OC gets popped by Quartz up on the high ground, he decides to just throw the grab up there, solo grab him, just make him an easy target. It's going to be difficult, though, for Twisted to push into this, right? Simwall here. But it's going to be this rally. Could be quite nasty. It's going to be the overclock and the Simwall. The knife backs up here for just a brief second. Oh.
Proper's ready for the preemptive TP coming in. A Tectonic Shock with this wall dissipating could be huge, but again, still unnecessary. I like the gambit from Twisted Minds. They are concerned about giving Zarya too much time to charge up. Twisted Minds want quick fights. They want quick eliminations. They want walkovers. They do not want to allow Benar to build in strength over the course of a longer fight.
So you're going to be around this first corner here now for ZETA Division. No changes here for Twisted. They're going to continue. Obviously, with the D.Va, with the self-destruct, you probably want to try and at least get use of that, extend the fight, or just kind of giving it up. Just Tech Shock available for Proper. See how he decides to use this. It looks like Twisted wants to set something up, maybe go aggressive here.
I think we're just going to try and start it up for them. Yeah, Tectonic Shock now going to come through. Proper. Dangerous game you're playing, my friend. Sound barrier from Funny Astro drawn out, though, as the rallies in play for Violet. Shu now goes for a rush of his own. And look at Twisted Minds very quickly about facing. They respect it. They also throw a part again. Oh dear, that could have been dangerous. Little TP self-destructs for you. Yubi, that looks like he just got plucked out there. Proper has kept this pressure at fever pitch. And Benar now looks to join him in a symphony in the front lines. Graviton Surge available, lets it go audaciously at the D.Va. The TVNT doesn't have the Matrix to stop it, and that's another checkpoint for ZETA.
And if they don't kill Bernard, there is no way that TVNT can kind of step up and take that position. I was going to say Ramatra has to be the call here for TVNT. 340 on the time bank for ZETA. And a fantastic run through the map. Proper over to the Pharah. Interesting call here at this point in the map. not like a great skybox for the part to play through, and then also the vortex available.
That doesn't fancy the Venture anymore. Tactics put him off it. Knife with an overclock here, plus that poke damage of Proper is good, but Quartz is just begging for a matchup like that. He'll take it any day of the week. He does get too close to Vinar, who's surely operating at full charge right now and building towards his next Graviton Surge. Without Quartz in the game, Vinar cautiously is trying to forge ahead. The card is still on the move. The Sim TP looks like it was just a ruse, maybe to bait something. The Ramatra put him off the idea of the Venture.
Feels like Bernard's dominated this half.
Versailles has just been hitting kind of different, man. I'm going to be honest with you. Yubi, again, taken down, but somehow finds a way through that Ramatra shield, and now it's happy to face him down. Proper, though, picked off yet again. That's been the story of these last couple of fights, but it hasn't really been enough for Twisted Minds. Quartz has done well, but it's always trading his life for Proper, and it takes more than that. This team is far more than just Proper. 5 bona fide stone cold killers, all ready to run you down at a moment's notice.
I mean, Bernard is just absolutely feasting here. First with CVT on the D.Va, just easy charge there. Working towards another grab, 3rd or 4th of the half.
TVT's so low already. This grab will be a game ender. It could pull people off the card, it could tie them all together, make it easy to burn them down. Either way, you feel good about Zarya's prospects. Here's the grab on the card with the rally, with Violet running into the backline. Sees that sound barrier and the annihilation from TVNT. It's got to be respected, but Yubi and Quartz just got stunned up heavily. Proper's trying to dive in, but Violet's gone down and it's not respecting Yubi, trying to lance him out of the game. He eventually falls to TVNT. The annihilation, an absolute godsend for Twisted Mind. And they're going to hold their ground for now.
I mean, they finally get rid of Bernard. It feels like that's the first time he's died in this half. It's a huge investment from ZETA, very close to being able to take it. Obviously, Twisted dump into it as well. Bernard gonna go over and play Ramatra. The Proper, obviously, on the Vendetta now. Haven't felt that, like, kind of dominance from him on the hero just yet, but opportunity here for Knife to close this out with an OC. A kill on the Simple here as we're getting towards a rush could be huge.
Yeah, they're trying to farm shoes. Kitsune rush as well, I feel.
Yeah.
Both teams take a beat. ZETA, no, they still have the lead.
Astro's going to get close to beat here as well.
Knife, little exposure to the front line there. Matt got a little too close. Walker's having to back away here, and Shu and Knife are both down. That is such heads up identification from Twisted Minds to see a chance to punish some poor positioning.
Oh, and then they try and stagger. Bernard looks like he's going to get the kill onto Yubi, and Yubi just TPs out. Oh, that is a brutal stagger. Twisted Minds
ahead.
One more fight to be able to hold here on defense. They able to hold on and build up this sound barrier. Violet getting nowhere close to the rally. Your TM, you even think about getting aggressive here, right? Sound barrier annihilation.
You know that Shu already burned his rush in the last fight.
Not a lot of movement out of that backline, so.
Neon Junction comes to its conclusion with 10 seconds left on the clock. ZETA Division have to be absolutely centimeter perfect. Knife with a step back. Then sees TVNT with another annihilation, by the way. I just feel like this is too much to go into. Twisted Minds have an insane bank of ultimates. Here's a Sundering Blade being held and then let go. And Franklin just missing. Proper finds no connection. Now in overtime, he's going to find a way to get a touch here. ZETA have presence on the card though. It's Vinar close to an annihilation. He's found it. He can match TVNT's, but Violet has already gone down. Respect for the Ramatras here. The Twisted Minds have the sound barrier to disregard the maelstrom of damage. We know Proper wears his crowns, but what's a king to a god anyway? We've got an even series.
Obviously, it's a TM map win, but I also think it is a great sign for them moving forward. We've seen a lot of teams do some nasty work with Vendetta into sim comps. From what I just saw right there, I wouldn't be too scared of ZETA Division trying to play that. They look really disjointed, trying to make that work. Honestly, the scariest part was Bernard on the Zarya, but you were basically just kind of sitting on the D.Va for 2 or 3 fights, waiting to use that self-destruct. Once went over to the Ramatra and forced that Ramatra head-to-head. I mean, Proper not really able to make that big of a difference there on the sim.
It feels like Proper had to switch off the Vendetta at that point.
Yeah, I mean, like, but where do you go, right? I mean, you know, I think if you play Tracer, I think that is a clear TM advantage. Venture works with the Zarya a bit, but you know, not a really kind of dominant force like a Vendetta. Let's go down to the stage with Ian to get the pulse of the crowd.
I'm actually in the co-streamer area right now with Tayo of ZETA Division. I've just been talking to him about his viewership right now. Pushing somewhere in the region of almost 20,000 viewers watching along here. And you said it's nice to have you over here. Thank you for being here. This is great. This has got like a long series written all over it. What do you think?
I think it's going to go all the way 4-3. I don't know who's going to win, but it's going to go all the way.
How are the nerves right now? Because, you know, in any sport, esport, when you're watching your team in a clutch series like this, the heart's pounding.
Yeah, of course. I mean, I'm not playing or anything. I'm just watching, but I still got the sweats. I'm nervous. I can't wait to see the next map.
Did this surprise you, ZETA Division? Because they came in as, I guess, one of the favorites here, but the way they've performed to get to this point, did it shock you at all, or is this what you expected?
Honestly, I thought that they would be in the finals, but you never know what's going to happen, so I'm just going to keep cheering them on.
What are the vibes from your viewers right now? I'm seeing some of the comments in the chat popping up right now. How are they feeling about the series?
I mean, everyone's hyped. I'm glad that it's already 1-1, so it's going to be a close series, so we're all happy to see this match.
Did you manage to catch the Twisted Mind series before? The semi-final coming into this, of course you did, you were right here for it. Did you see their crazy fans?
Yeah, dude, their fans are crazy. I know personally, because I've been a professional player, fans like those are like the reason why we play. It's so encouraging to watch those fans, and of course it gives them energy.
Yeah, because we were talking about how the players can hear it, you can feel it. As a former pro yourself, when you're hearing that sound and you're feeling that energy, does it actually, I guess, like affect your performance at all?
I mean, not directly maybe, but mentally, I think that having someone push your back is always good.
Right, what's your final prediction? Give it to me.
4-3 ZETA Division, that's what I'm going to go with.
A little bit. Have you got anyone you want to shout out right now before I let you go?
No, all the fans watching from home, whether it be from Japan or France or wherever, thanks for watching. Let's watch some amazing Overwatch.
Thanks for being here, man. Enjoy the rest of your stream and enjoy the final.
Man, the vibe out here is pretty insane. Tayo ain't wrong. Great to hear that his co-stream is popping off.
Yeah,
but
Ian's like,
it's no different.
Ian's like, you want to shout anybody out? He's like, well, I have 20,000 people watching right now, so yes, I would like to shout all of them out. Everyone individually. Coliseo map selection. So we saw this in the previous series with the Kiri ban as well. It was like Baptiste they tried to play, and then we saw Moira from Simple. Maga gone. I think, look, from the way Twisted has looked thus far, like Maga gone, I think that's like pretty decent, right? You can now play, what, Ramatra? I wouldn't even be surprised if they try and play Reinhardt here, like off the rip, and then kind of see where that goes.
We kind of saw in the last game what the Kiri ban can look like. Simple, it did end up on the Moira on Coliseo. Now, I don't know if that's exactly going to stick against a team like ZETA Division. Twisted Minds were able to come up with an answer. It was a Baptiste at first. Now, this is...
what do you think about it?
It's exploitable, I think.
If they ran the Sig here, the Rhine on the other side, I mean, that feels like something that TM just kind of eats up.
I mean, there are some parts of the map, obviously, where it looks a little bit better. The longer straightaway, right, if you can buy the time, but Twisted Minds are playing with a sim. So Ryan can always get that much closer without having to give up his shield. You better hope these accretions are absolutely perfect from Benar, I feel.
Yeah, I mean, even so, right? You just can't do anything with the damage that TBNT has. Then he also kind of plays inside of the immortality field. Let's proper over to the Xion.
Simple is the linchpin here. ZETA are going to try and die to Baptiste early and often with their composition. The longer Simple lives, the easier it's going to be for TBNT to maniacally take space and charge ahead.
The Bastion Wheels mode just kind of backs them up here. TP, where is this TP set up? Is it just kind of bait here? Simple has to use Immortality Field already, that's gone.
Mortality Field out of the way, but it's not like ZETA Division are pressing on the absence of it yet until now. Probable's able to make his way into the backline. Quartz has been removed. TBNT probably feels a bit uncomfortable here, and UB tried for it off angle, but buddy, No TVNT shell means you can be slept right on down.
TVNT charges, gets right up in the mix. Is disruptor shot there placed on the turret, TP. So that'll be a Zeta division fight win. They'll get the bot now into TM territory as Quartz goes over to the Cassidy. This is a lot like how that last series we had with Wavo started off.
Clara for Proper, how is that going to interact? Again, some parts of the map she's great. Others, it's a little uncomfortable to dare step into the Cassidy sightlines. So you got to play around the damage fall off though of Cassidy, which is pretty significant at these longer ranges. Violet is going to be banking on that as well.
Violet's got to be careful. It's going to be an Ant Matrix use here. They're trying to push out the Sig.
Okay, well, Kinetic Grasp just eats the entirety of that damage that would have been coming their way. Benar had to disengage, but Zeta have been playing pretty safe, pretty passive over the course of this map.
Ooh, he's going to be the catnap.
Got the Sim as well. Yubi somehow untouched until just now. She's going to finish the job. Sees that sound barrier come in, but it was too late to save the Symmetra.
Oh, the Flux comes in from Benar, but he gets taken out by Quartz, so TVNT lands with full HP. Gonna be able to keep that Ryan in the fight.
That's huge. I mean, no one really gonna be able to shift TVNT now. Oh, the Fire Strike on the Violet. Twisted Minds are slightly behind after Zeta Division got back into the game, and Knife is now looking to exacerbate this further. Shatter, but not before Simple had a hole bored through his body. 2 kills for Knife matters, but what matters more is that Twisted Minds still have a foothold, albeit they trail by 4.
Now Arisa here for Bernard. I imagine we'll eventually see TVNT make a swap, maybe over to the Ram. Or even the Zarya deal with something like this. Quartz.
Bernard's arm has been cracked. He's got to be very careful.
Yep. TP Deadeye opportunity here as well.
Stunning shots there from Porte. Here comes a Sim Wall. Over the top goes Violet here, but most of the Twisted Minds are still grouped up. A Bionade though, doused by it. At least it felt that way. Yubi's wall is important now. Bernard finds himself on the wrong side of it, and a Deadeye, unassisted by TP. This is more of a defensive look. Oh, almost had Violet there. Quartz really trying to make sure he lines up that elimination. And look where Proper's playing. It's unlike Zeta Division to look so discombobulated, but they are very spread.
I mean, he's like on the other side of the map. Thankful for Knight that he takes out Simple. Now you probably have to back up here if you're TM. TP set up. It actually gets taken out there, so yeah, they're not able to make it out here.
This Zeta Division comp is designed to really abuse that defensive high ground. Look at them, they just sat back. Twisted Minds knew it too. They didn't really want to come forward, but they had to advance the game. They are ahead for now, but they run into a brick wall there on the other side of the map.
Diva here for TVNT. This will be good into the far of Proper, so wouldn't be surprised as Proper's kind of played mystery heroes throughout this to see him go make a change. So the catnap set up right on top.
Oh, what have we got? Oh, him at the same time. Great response, but Yubi did go down. No one's looking at the Farah. They're too busy worrying about the feline menace. So Zeta Division still makes short work of Twisted Minds in this fight, and that is a big fight to win. Already 48 meters and counting. They're already in enemy territory, so winning a fight here is crushing.
Yeah, getting very close to checkpoint as well. Nice rockets there from Proper around the corner. Takes out Quartz. Simple. The Baptiste putting up some shots towards Proper, gonna force him back. So not checkpoint just yet here for Zeta Division. They get held there. Maybe an opportunity for Twisted here, right? Sound barrier, no support ult available for Zeta. Just nice OC. Simple putting some serious damage down on Proper.
Yeah, this Knife poke is going to be a problem now. Look at the TP play though. This is Twisted Minds getting themselves together. Knife is going to be buried out of trouble, but this has made space now for TM behind this amplification matrix, and Knife just can't peek. Shu was taken down by Simple. Oh, that is nice looks for Twisted Minds. Now it's their turn to start to take deep strides into enemy territory, or at least you'd think so, but they've just lost their backline. TVNT still wants to nudge this up a little bit because Zeta Division did struggle in that fight. But I don't see Twisted Minds getting ahead of Zeta on this push.
No, definitely not. Is the stall Violet just lurking? Yeah, the stall there. Gonna clear out these Sim turrets, get us back towards mid-map as Proper now. That's talking about playing all different types of heroes over to the Xion.
Waltz Deadeye. All Violet again, just with a very audacious drive-by. Watch out for the TP! Knife! Barely alive. Quartz had to pull the shot either way, but Violet goes down. Simple found him. A lot of good poke pressure with his Baptiste Cassidy combination. Yeah, Shu gets right-clicked into next Tuesday and Proper. Watch out, buddy! Got to scout those turrets. Now Twisted Minds mean business. Now they're in position
and Bernard's
to get
going to
in
get
front.
staggered here for a little bit. UB's turrets end up doing the job as they push right up. Oh, Violet wants a catnap here. He's going to grab the Baptiste. Okay, does get that. That's a massive play. I mean, look, catnap's not going to get like massive, you know, insane value in a lot of these fights. Even if you can just get one and to get the Baptiste, I mean, that's massive. So denies Twisted Minds really from getting, you know, any much more of a lead. Huge play potentially there from Violet.
Yeah, that one pick, full disengage.
Yeah.
Twisted Minds fall back though with some confidence. Symmetra Wall is still here. It's going to give Porte a pretty insane advantage over Knife in that hit scan fight. Nanobus on the Bernard trying to dive past the wall. First target immortality kill. Yubi trying to dance and gets slapped by Bernard. This is a good look now for ZETA Division. As the Lucio gets scooped up, Bernard was a self-destruct, but that was a little audacious. He gets picked off while he's out of mech. TVNT handled though by Shu. And the pendulum swings back to Twisted Minds' side of the map.
Yeah, and I wonder if Twisted, they can get out of spawn fast enough to be able to fight this, which they most certainly do. And when I deny ZETA from potentially getting close towards taking that lead back, as we are down to almost 2:30 on the clock. Ooh, Deadeye here as Violet plays on in, and that is where he may get too aggressive at times. You find Violet going into the back line. You did end up having to invest sound barrier here as well. So fairly big investment for Twisted Minds, but still you get that bot deeper into ZETA's territory and it's all worth it.
Yeah, we're getting into the red zone in terms of time, and with Twisted Minds still have a lead, I think spending that sound barrier to maintain it seems pretty reasonable. In this amount of time, Funny Astro has enough time to build another beat, and it's not as if ZETA are playing the Lucio, so it's not a matter of trying to keep yours up to match your opponents and so on. In fact, if there's nothing against a catnap, there's environmental kill potential there. Oh, look at that, dive onto the high ground for TVNT. What's he hoping to dig up there? Immortality Field had to be deployed for Simple and Cobra. The backline all shelter under it until they can't. It's Knife with that overclock. Court's down as well, so no DPS up for Twisted Minds. A nice little slip away there for Knife to get himself a health pack. He can virtually ignore Simple, as this is a stagger.
Simple just tried to take one out. On the road is, see now, Proper moves up. You're gonna get 3 players back here for Twisted Minds. TVNT the most important, right? He's gonna be able to contest. Even if he dies, self-destruct here, it's gonna be huge. Violet goes deep there.
Touchwood spree in play though. Funny Astro just caught out by the hindrance. Doesn't seem to bother Proper as he torpedo dives straight through them. Here comes ZETA Division. We've got ourselves an equalizer with 1 minute left in the round. How does this all transpire? It's an immortality field that's cleared so early and no one's got an answer to this from Proper.
Proper just carves them up there with the spree to get back in the game. A 10-meter lead now. Huge bio grenade connects with 3 there.
Shu commands these sidelines. He commands this healer battle. Sitting back now, but Simple has noted him. He's done enough though. 90 meters, 30 seconds left in the round. ZETA Division's map pick finally seems to be going their way. In the dying moments, Twisted Minds are straight up being spawn camped. Simple back on a timer. And ZETA Division sit back and say, your move.
Another 2-player bio there from Shu. Simple over to the Moira. That was the heroics. The last match is Violet's got a teammate getting ready to airdrop somebody in. Now they finally deal with Shu. Get him out of the spawn, but might be too late. We're in OT.
Definitely too late, Matt. TVNT trying to get this robot out of the way, but DMX knowing that the game is virtually over, and ZETA Division strike back with another big win. The greatest series in Overwatch are built from these kind of back and forths, and both teams so far have obliged us. A neck and neck Colosseo until it wasn't.
Started out fairly well for Twisted Minds. They kind of play that on even footing for most of the game, but ZETA makes some appropriate swaps there towards the end, get a nice ult advantage. Proper with the spree. Shu just too much all map long.
This represents a good chance, Matt, to take stock of things as Proper gets his team ahead in the series. Let's head over to Puckett and the crew to break down the action.
What a way to start this series. We have a 2-1 lead in the first of 4 for ZETA Division, and It all started with TM on the right pace. Johnny, let's start talking about that Lucio ban that affected by the Astro, and then, of course, what happened in Game 2? What happened in the first half of this series?
Yeah, this series has gone as expected so far. Neither team has really flinched, which means we're bound for a long series. This could go all the way. It started out with ZETA Division getting the first map pick, and they went to Busan with that high ground, able to expose the symmetric composition of Twisted Minds, and that has been the story of the game so far.
Let's take a look at some of the highlights. And Jake, there were highlights galore from both sides of this fight. Who has caught your eye for MVP running early on in this grand final?
Oh, it's hard not to think about Proper. He has been putting in an absolute monster of a performance here on the Xi'an, on the Pharah, whatever it's called for him to flex to. However, I think it's worth noting, powerful bans have been expended, and still TM has been fighting back, keeping these maps extremely close. So I still think there's a lot more to be seen in this series, because TVNT is also really turning the screws on ZETA. I mean, they play these tricky comps, but TVNT keeps finding their number.
Yeah, it's TVNT and Quartz. Quartz is definitely turning it up right now as well. I think this is the most pop-off performance we've seen from him thus far in this tournament. So I think they're really going toe-to-toe. It's going to come down to the map ban.
Bernard having an enormous play on the Diva towards the end, and then, of course, you see Proper switching over to the Reaper. We talked about maybe this isn't his highest ceiling. Still has a pretty darn big impact there, Johnny.
Yeah, 100%. You expect all of these guys to be playmakers, especially come a grand final like this. And I feel like time and time again, we're seeing different individuals from ZETA Division step up in a moment like this. If Twisted Minds decide to push for an individual, the rest of the team has to step up and make up for that.
As good as that first map was for ZETA Division, map number 2 belonged to their opponent. Let's take a look at our second highlights as this came from Neon Junction. Jake, walk me through the play. What was different this time around?
I mean, the sim, right? This is able to have such a big impact. This is a comfort map for Twisted Minds. It's just a much tighter angle situation. There's not as many cheeky options for Shu in particular to make the plays, and you felt that ZETA was kind of forced to match the rush in some of these scenarios, and that's exactly where Twisted Minds want to keep this series, get Quartz firing on all cylinders, torqued up with the Sojourn, farming rails off the Maga.
Is it the Sojourn that is his most dangerous character? Is it the Cassidy?
No,
What do you like to see Quartz on?
It's literally all of it. So like Quartz is one of those players, you can't really ban him out because he has options and he's performing equally well on all of those, and that's what makes him so dangerous, because his aim is just unlike anything that you've seen before.
Johnny, when do we get a melee game? Is anyone going to take away the hit scan and just bring out big swords again?
I think if you have a Quartz here, you really need to enable him to play that long-range hit scan, and the Symmetra teleporter is part of that. You want to teleport away from ZETA Division to allow space and time for someone like Quartz to really pop off like that. So I think we're going to keep this one long-range.
And then, of course, as you saw just recently in game number 3, it was back and forth for the first 7 minutes. The final 3 minutes, though, belong to ZETA. As we take a look at some of the best highlights, there was this play from Proper that I kind of feel like sealed the deal, Zoe.
It's filthy. Like, a nano boosted Proper should be actually illegal. That should just get banned out. Like, I don't want to be on the other side of that. It's incredible what he can do, not just with the nano, but also if he's like in the neutral.
Are we going to get rid of the Ana? Has she been banned yet, Jake?
I don't expect her to be banned. I think Twisted Minds are going to believe that they have to overcome this hero. I mean, here on Coliseum, without the Kiriko, right, there's no cleanse to take off that bio nade, to wake people up from the sleep dart, and so Ana is able to get a lot more done. But generally, through the course of the series, I'd expect Simple to be quite confident on the Kiri in that matchup. That, though, I think as we look back to Coliseum, that was a map that Twisted Minds were able to win earlier in the day, right, against Weibo Gaming in a very similar matchup. So we could be looking back on that map as maybe being a bit of a bellwether in the series, a place where ZETA were able to take an edge that others could not.
That series changed in game 3, Johnny.
Yes, it did change in game 3, and I think now we could see Twisted Minds actually start getting a couple of these maps. Moving ahead here now, looking at the next map pick, Symmetra is yet to be banned. And this might be an area now where you want to go towards a flashpoint map, and maybe you want to actually, we're going to see Suravasa here. If you want to protect ban the Symmetra here, make sure that heroes in the game, maybe remove something like a Venture. This is a must-win map for Twisted Minds here. Tie things up, remain in the series, and like Jake said, drag this series out, because when all those valuable bans are gone, it might favor Twisted Minds.
What do we need to know about Suravasa? What kind of playstyles are fitted well for this map?
Well, honestly, there's a lot of viable things that you can play in terms of composition. So I don't really like the whole.
They're going to be more jetpack cats.
Well, okay, maybe.
I think for ZETA, probably yes, right? They like the plays comps. We think we've actually seen a lot of proper Tracer on this map.
Yeah.
I'm curious, I don't know how he approaches this Twisted Minds team in particular. It's a different kind of opponent than any that they've really faced before. But proper, I mean, attacking him with bans is a little crazy at times, but hey, if you're gonna do a protective DPS ban to keep the sim alive, I wouldn't mind taking the Tracer out of the mix. Like, when Proper's opening up those options on the flank, often Shu is right behind him on the Ana, able to do unbelievable things with that space that is created. So I wouldn't mind an attack on Proper, whether it's the Xion, the Tracer. These are the type of DPS bans that still get a bit of mileage while protecting the sim.
I see somebody checking their pulse. Who is going to show the most emotion on this stage at the end of our grand final, Zoe?
Honestly, I think it's just across the board Twisted Minds. They have been emoting hard. They've been really invested. And that can be good and bad, right? Because they just went through such a long series to get here. So they really have to lock in and keep those emotions in check.
Johnny, at the start of this grand final, you said we are going to a Game 7. Is that still the vibe in the room right now, or do you feel ZETA Division has things now in their corner?
That's still the vibe. Map 7, and I feel like Twisted Minds, even though they're the only 1 and 2, they are starting to build some momentum in this series. You don't want to go anywhere.
Looks like Ramatra and Vendetta will not be seen. The rest of the heroes are available, and so are your casters as we send it back to Mr. X and Uber.
So, as part of their response to what we saw in map number 3, Matthew, a Vendetta ban here for Twisted Minds employed to try and keep Ubi that much safer.
I think it's obviously to get Vendetta out of the game, but then also to protect the Symmetra here as we go into the next map. So Ramatra ban as well comes in, so TVNT obviously very good on that hero. Puts him more in like the Reinhardt Diva space as we go into Surabasa. So obviously a really important map for TM to potentially tie it up. TM still has their Ana ban if they feel like they need to use it. They also have, they have the Bastion ban, they have the Cap ban, right? Still a lot of good stuff left for Twisted Minds in this series.
Yeah. They can target the strategies of ZETA Division on many different axes, but it feels like the execution is what's been the difference maker so far for ZETA. That was a very competitive Colosseo map, regardless of how our comps were structured, what the bans were. Didn't seem to matter. ZETA Division just looking clean there towards the end. All right, so again, we're seeing this prevalence of Sigma or other more static tanks on this map. Accretion's very powerful. Gravitic Flux has insane stopping power. Violet might speed them out here.
It's going to be like Catchy-on, yeah. So ZETA going to run back similar to what we saw in the last map, obviously with Bernard. This time they're going to be playing Sig instead of Diva. So they kind of back out a little bit here. It's going to be odd to kind of move into this with the Sig. That's where Sig struggles, right? Once you kind of get control of an area with the Sigma, it becomes very difficult to move as Violet eats a railgun there. Somehow able to live, and then Knight finds Ubi. That's a brutal loss.
Yeah, Quartz has just been backtracking this entire time, Matt, realizing that it's more than just Benar up front, but there are flanking elements here for ZETA Division. One of them catching Ubi out. Now you got to retake into the Sigma.
Yeah, that's when the Sig can start to get strong, right? The constant poke and damage within chokes. The accretion, the shield. Accretion comes out there from Bernard. See Violet also just kind of lurking above you there on the cat, ready to kind of pounce at a moment's notice.
Good damage on Bernard. Simple though, he's hit with a bionic grenade. And Quartz still not convinced about his sidelines. He spots Proper lurking off to the side. As Simple has fallen, and Knife has the better position to play from. Dangerous here for Quartz. He needs that healing, but it's only the Lucio. Losing the Kiriko early. A devastating blow for Twisted Minds. And it feels like it's being exacerbated now.
Yeah, it is TM, though, in control of the point.
Good stall.
On the Astro, yep. Gets them a lead, but lead will swing right back for ZETA Division. So early on in map number 1 on Busan, they did a really good job of, like, you know, every time those railgun shots would go into Violet, like, TVNT would be there to finish him off. Just, it's not really happened as Violet's starting to dominate on the cat.
Yep. Twisted Minds don't have another DPS that can follow up on that poke damage because Ubi is limited in range. TVNT is the one that has to break position to chase them down. Proper is hatching a scheme Sitting here on this staircase now. Spots everyone go by, but TVNT is kind of spooked by his presence. Those glinting red eyes.
Look at Violet just kind of lurking here.
Oh, not so much lurking now. Has certainly made an enemy of himself. Porte is being dragged out of position, but not to secure an elimination, just to try and disrupt him. He still killed Shu. It just didn't stop him. How?
Now Bernard's in a lot of trouble, right? I mean, just Jetpack Cat heals where Jetpack Cat struggles, but hold on, knife with one. You do still have Quartz here, TVNT as well, so although you get to 99, Violet eventually finished off. It'll be Twisted Minds still with an opportunity here. I mean, dude, Violet, right? Hits Quartz, you mentioned he does get one, and then just tries to like put Quartz up on the high ground, maybe kind of force a 1v1, also take him out of the line of sight of the other healers, right?
I think having high ground also makes it easier to spot Violet.
Yeah.
You abuse the high ground with Quartz, use the overclock, and the sound barrier. Now, Twisted Minds can turn this into a winning formula. With the nano boost, it's a bit of an unknown variable here. Is it Proper? Is he going to run in, try and get a spree?
Yeah, who is the back line? I mean, it looks like it's for Proper potentially. You may end up holding on to it now.
He gets it. I think they've really had their hand forced here, Matt, because Quartz finds Violet with an overclock straight away. Now he's able to reposition away. Proper was heading towards the back line, heading after Quartz, but he was out of there. Heads up TP there by Yubi, and now a wall in play means that there's just no way forward for ZETA Division.
Twisted Minds, an unbelievable job of battling back on that flashpoint, right? They're able to get control of the high ground yet again, right? Put Quartz on some better angles. Good sound barrier there from Bunny Astro Yubi with that sim wall. Proper ends up getting the benefits of the nano. Just no need to end up using the spree there. Are we about to get the Bernard Doomfist? We saw the Doomfist used by Gushui earlier in that Weibo series, and it definitely gave Twisted some trouble.
I think the issue is that, the answers to the Doomfist would put the Twisted Minds in a really weird comp from what they are on right now. The D.Va is fine though against it. She just tries to avoid him. But it's been Knife in Proper lighting up the kill feed. And Knife says, I want a bit of that spotlight for myself. Kind of always stood in the shadow with very known names. Now the understudy to Proper, trying to garner a bit of the attention for himself.
And now how does ZETA deal? I mean, ZETA bring the aggression, right? But Twisted Minds, how do they deal with like that Doomfist, Xion, Jetpack Cat combination? And now you're starting to find these kills on the Violet. And for me, that's like the series.
Yeah, in a nutshell, feels like Violet has dangled himself a little too close to Twisted Minds on occasion. And Quartz just doesn't miss those. He'll chase Knife here, yep. Well spotted. TVNT an opportunity to go after an out-of-position Sojourn. But this has allowed ZETA Division to stall into quite a healthy lead here on the second flashpoint. Bernard drops in, that's a lot of Centaurs. I would not be a fan of that. But a powered punch there doesn't even have to be charged very long. Bernard just unkillable in that moment, but now being chased down by a fully charged up Yubi. Where do you go from here? Ideally up, but without teammates, it's not worth the expenditure of that Meteor Strike. ZETA are happy enough with 80%.
I mean, the nano use there onto Bernard, but I mean, between the sim turrets, the damage, there's no opportunity to really kind of get offensive, just really kind of taking up space and the damage reduction coming on through. It's Proper over to Tracer now. For me, it really feels like if you can just deny Violet, like just kind of lurking in your backline, constantly kind of swooping in, going at players, that's where ZETA becomes very beatable.
Yeah, it's a 1-2 punch with Proper that I'm watching closely now, because see, Proper's never too far from Violet and vice versa. They're always trying to get a local player advantage on some of these individuals, but Knife just straight up wins against Quartz. Here's Bernard dropping on in, and Bunny Astro! Flat as it gets. Here with that Meteor Strike, and that is such a high value elimination to puck out of seemingly thin air. Bernard, low as he is, will have support for the rest of his team. Proper and Violet, the two-player tour de force are still in full effect. The Twisted Minds are climbing, 74% and counting. TVNT can stall, he can get back in his mech. Now Quartz comes back with this overclock, but it's not a target-rich environment. Shu accosted as soon as Quartz rounds that corner, and Violet has to dodge away from this Sojourn damage. Quartz barely alive, somehow being topped back up as Desperately Simple gets into the fray. 99% and counting now for Twisted Minds. They've stalled this out for long enough, but there's a catnap around the corner. Quartz is going to be wary of it, and Violet just headbutts the railgun. What a connection! And Twisted Minds take another big step towards an equalizer.
I mean, Quartz makes the highlight plays there, but TVNT is the only reason they have the ability to come back and fight this.
Bye.
As TVNT does a great job there with Bunny Astro just being able to kind of juggle the point. stay alive forever. He just turns the corner. Quartz just deletes Shu. TM on the verge of just sweeping Suravasa here.
Violet playing from the rafters now. Fully aware of where Twisted Minds are playing. There's environmental kill potential here, of course, but a cat nap and it connects. Who we got? Got the sim, dropped over the drink, and there goes Yubi. Sleeping with the piranhas. Which I don't recommend.
It doesn't sound great.
Not exactly.
A lot of the fights on this map, like the points, have kicked off this way, right? Where ZETA comes in, they make a flashy play, everybody goes crazy. It's a nice actual powered punch there. Connects with a few players, gets a stun through the TP, so that's where that follow-up kill and the funny Astro comes from.
But now it's a real nuisance here. Could be a big part of a resurgence for ZETA Division on this map. They are 2 flash points to 0 down. Twisted Minds bide their time, sit on a sound barrier. And another wall from Yubi.
Yeah, it was the nano used there on a Bernard, and then you lose Funny Astro who has beat, so you're not going to continue to fight that in any serious manner. Bernard just kind of blocking the doorway there. It'll be Sim TP across.
Not a bad bio, if I do say so, but the sound barrier is going to inoculate Twisted Minds until it expires. Here's that wall, though. Yubi and TVNT just got hit with an empowered punch by Bernard, but he has to fold back. Twisted Minds will be permitted to take control. I think Yubi's done enough to earn it.
Quartz is going to get an OC, and you also have the Kitsune rush here, so great opportunity. Punch does not connect with Quartz. Bernard in a world of trouble here.
Oh, funny Astro, though, just gets knocked into the wall. The damage from the Disruptor shot enough to do him in. Yubi's also low. Bernard looked a little maladroit in his landing at the start of the fight, but since then, he's been pretty terrifying. Meteor Strike, pretty telegraphed here and surrounded now by Twisted Minds players. Proper delivers the double. That'll do it. With Yubi and Simple out, forget about it.
It's an unbelievable pulse bomb from Proper. Let's take a look at this. He's working with Bernard.
On the TP as well.
On the TP. They go through it, probably trying to dodge that Doomfist, and
it's literally lighting the bag of dung and ringing the doorbell.
Does Twisted just give up on this?
I don't think that's in their vocabulary, honestly, but they're not giving much of a choice. Short-lived overtime as Violet made sure Yubi was the first out.
Still a pretty big hill to climb here if you're ZETA Division, right? Gonna take the next 2 flash points as TM's gonna look like win the rotation here. Maybe get here a little bit faster. Shu just kind of looks like setting up maybe an off angle. Now, Shu does not have line of sight to the players just yet. So.
TM already invested though in being first to the punch here, Matt. Hey, honestly, Twisted Minds throw themselves into that fight. They think they got the better end of it, but Knife is playing so safely, so far away. Violet was just the decoy dangled in front of him. He was the catnip.
You know, what do you do, right, against the Doom? It's going to be Quartz, going to go over to the Cassidy. That's going to be the response. You know, maybe if, obviously, Ramacha was, you know, in this game, Ramacha gets banned. Maybe that's a go-to, right? Vortex with the slow, trying to keep that Doom in place.
Another nano for Bernard here. Really feels like these have been for survivability, just to try and tie your opponents up as long as you can. Proper's Pulse Bomb goes by the wayside. TVNT able to get the Korean Future Dyson onto it. But Bernard made a heck of a lot of space with that nano. It's just a big investment for something that didn't involve directly an elimination.
It also feels like for a while, you know, Twisted Minds was a team that was heavily on the offensive, like aggressive here in this game. And as soon as Bernard has gone over to the Doomfist, it is just flipped, where every time we were seeing Twisted Minds just moving backwards.
Oh, okay. Nice Suzu there from Simple. Sound Barrier came out there as well, and Shu is running to the ground. Twisted Minds see a moment to go up tempo for a time. But Quartz has found Violet. This more defensive look with the Cassidy. Pretty important in those moments. Twisted Minds are trying to get the map ended here. It starts with a cap on this point, and that has been eluding them thus far. Bernard has been more than just a nuisance. He's been a spanner in the works.
So now they come out on top. That's another pulse bomb eaten here from TVNT. Finally, you get a fight win. You can breathe a little sigh of relief here for Twisted Minds. And they're in a pretty decent spot, Mitch, right? A lot of ultimates invested. Violet with a good spot here, though, to get like a catnap, maybe grab some player, drop him into the drink.
I also think this Doomfist switch has been great for Knife, who no longer has to take a Sojourn mirror. Yeah. Quartz has been forced onto the Cassidy, favoring the longer range of those 2 hit scans.
And this is the cat just kind of parading Shu around.
Yeah, I mean, an airdrop Bionade. Oh, could be good, but it was mitigated. Here's Violet now. Catnap. Quartz. Oh, what a save! Love to see that. Violet is taken down. Quartz lives to fight another day. And Badar has to cover and duck.
So, I mean, Violet, hey, look, going for those hero plays, just can't drag him low enough to be able to get that kill. Proper on the flank. He's going to be the one here who's relied on to get a touch, but TM knows this.
And they're ready for it, like you said. Quartz, loud and proud on the point. Fighting away with the Peacekeeper, sees Benar slide on past the nose. He might have a window here to just get the Doomfist done. He does get stunned up briefly, but it's really not damage that he's riding home about. Violet comes in and takes the trade, but no, the rest of the hard work has been done here for Twisted Minds. They took a back seat for much of this flashpoint, but patience pays dividends, and they're here to chase the bag.
This series may just go back and forth until we hit that game 7. It's Twisted Minds, the swap over to the Cassidy to deal with that Doomfist. I think I saw Yubi on Twitter say that Gushui is the best Doomfist of all time. No Doomfist like Gushui in the mix. Bernard tried his best impersonation, proper with some sick plays as well. But overall, outside of, you know, some moments at the beginning of these flashpoints, Twisted kind of rode that one home, start to finish.
Really competitive map in the end. There's always adaptations, little tweaks that you can make to get an edge at this part of the series. Porte over towards the Cassidy. It's great to have a more defensive, a safer option to try and pick up here. Now guys, it's insane in this room. I can't begin to describe the energy to you, but I've got some people who are going to try, so let's go and talk with them.
Mesdames et messieurs, on est sur scène, on est déjà à la 5e game de ce BO. Ladies and gentlemen, qui est là pour ZETA Division?
All right.
What do you say?
I think we got some fans over on my side. Shall I check?
Go for it.
Hey, who's here to see Twisted Minds?
Nah.
We got good back and forth going on. We got a series on our hands
we got to do better, guys. We got to do better. You have an insane team here. So once again, who is here for ZETA Division?
Twisted. Guys, are you gonna let them take this trophy? Seriously? Well, let them hear you! Twisted Minds! I want you to start a chant right now. Let's go.
What? Which one?
Twisted!
Twisted! Twisted! Twisted! Twisted!
There you go.
Come back here. Let's get real, guys.
Yes.
Who's taking it? Is it Twisted Minds or is it ZETA Division? Sounds pretty solid to me. And I think we're going to have a blast on this grand finals, Ian.
Absolutely. Just a reminder of what's at stake here, of course. Becoming the next champion here at the Esports World Cup. A huge prize pool and vital club championship points. Before you know it, this will be all said and done, and it'll be over.
Because nothing is granted and everything is earned here at the EWC. It's time for me and Ian to toss it back to our lovely casters and get back to business. See you.
4 maps in now, so we've accounted for the preparation, the surprise factor, and the mythology. The 2 teams sitting on stage now are real. They do bleed. They do fight. From this point onwards, only the deeper team will remain. This is where instinct takes over. And the preparation, the deliberation, the forethought takes a back seat.
And it's going to be a ZETA Division map pick, Route 66. Wonder if this is the Sim band here. We'll see.
Not a bad time to find a map.
Yeah, it's going to be Sim. Sigma band here for Twisted Minds. So now, I mean, this is one of the more powerful bands you have against Twisted Minds, right? Puts all the pressure on Yubi. UB plays a ton of Sim. Probably 99.9% of his playtime on the Symmetra. Gonna be gone here. No, we've seen what Twisted goes to here is actually typically the Mei. So we'll see if it's Mei. Obviously Tracer available for somebody like UB, but from what we've seen this tournament, they've gone to Mei here in a lot of situations because teams take them here and then ban the Sim quite often.
Without the Sigma in play, one of the good answers to Ramatra, for example, is Mei, right? It's one of the most direct counters to Annihilation, as direct as it gets anyway. So it is stress on Banar's hero pool. It also removes the necessity of ZETA Division having to create this frontline pressure on the Sim, right? This need to go over towards a vendetta and such. It's just not a factor here. They can go back to, what really got them here in the first place, what they're comfortable with. It's Tracer, it's Sojourn, it's Xion in the mix, maybe Farah if you need it. They don't have to stress about Twisted Minds appearing in their midst every 10 to 12 seconds.
Oh. The Torbjorn.
It's so based.
We have not seen
unfathomably based.
Really, we have not seen Torbjorn the entire time, but why the hell not?
No, this is D1 hating of proper Tracer.
Yeah, this is like protect, courts at all costs. You also have Simple playing the Alari, right? So maybe that's where you feel like you're making up some of your damage overall. I think the biggest thing you're kind of worried about here, right, is like TVNT does such a great job of putting pressure on Shu a lot of that time. Being able to utilize the TPs of the Sim and then not have to use the flying cooldown of D.Va, you're obviously not going to have that luxury here.
A mirror match of tank. Although that's been pretty rare in this series.
Oh, Violet's going to ditch Cat here playing Mizuki. That's probably going to throw TM for a little bit of a loop.
I think the Jetpack Cat just getting locked onto by Torb turrets randomly is actually a big problem. So Mizuki here to punish TVNT. Those binding chains, pretty potent. Gotta watch out for this very heavy poke damage-oriented defense side, though.
Probably one of the only maps you can actually kind of play Torb on this first point is, okay, Cat Bastion.
Okay. I wonder what it is that Violet sees that he feels safe to go back for this pick. Here's UB now encountering Banar, hoping to throw a couple dents on that sheen of the mech. Very quickly, naturally, Banar just opts out of that encounter. Doesn't want to bar the Torb up close, not during his overdrive.
Coming in there. Ooh. Some nice damage from TVNT. Bio grenade hits there from Shu, but TVNT doesn't care. He just pushes up. Gets that kill onto Knife as Shu in the battle of the flex supports wins this time, taking out Simple. Bernard creating a lot of space here under Big Earls.
Yeah. This also has been uncomfortable for Quartz here. Forced to the low ground. Now forced to try and defend this pylon. That's another removal of it. Shu is trying to do mostly the same thing as Simple is, right? Weave damage in, around, really consistent healing throughput. But without a pylon, that's much harder for the Iliari.
Bernard actually gets rid of UV, so not going to have that Orb turret. Quartz gets hit with a bio grenade, dangerously low. That's an easy kill for Bernard to finish off, then gets the Mega. Everybody else dies by the payload there for Twisted. It's pretty easy offense there for ZETA Division.
Yeah, it feels like the Sim ban map is proceeding as you sort of might expect, right? Twisted Minds don't have the same sort of macro game plan to lean on anymore. We start focusing much more on the individual. And that's where ZETA Division certainly have them beat. That's been the talking point. It's individual talent versus team-wide strategy, coordination, cohesion. ZETA Division must convert on this map. If Twisted Minds even start to threaten a comeback here, I'd be getting nervous.
I mean, TM winning this map, they would view that as like a luxury, right?
I think they'd invite it as an invitation up to the dais, mate.
Oh yeah. I mean, if you win this for Twisted Minds, you feel like you got one hand on that trophy. Obviously, you go to match point, but probably the strongest ban. Still a Kiri ban, I think. No, Lucio ban is actually gone as well, right? So all the pretty impactful bans gone here for ZETA Division.
Oh, okay. Shu just pumping that damage out. Could follow up on the biotic grenade, but Violet went down to Quartz, who's playing pretty safely at the moment, but there's that captive sun angle. You mentioned Iliari, great to sort of, enhance the damage output of your roster. Shu went to take matters into his own hands there, but it took him far too close to Porte's purview.
We're going to see simple swap. Yeah, they're going to ditch this. They're going to go back, basically play their, tried and trusted comp, just minus the sim. And it looks like this will actually cause a response here. So it'll be Cat Bastion yet again.
UB on the Tracer. This is obviously a huge assignment for him, going up against probably one of the best to do it. And not where he's normally comfortable. That's a biotic grenade, a follow-up there from Shu. He just straight up wins that fight. He's on a really weird off angle, but TVNT can't try and chase him down because the rest of his team are having strips torn off them by Knight and co.
TVNT gonna get demec'd here. It's like, all right, fine, I'll stand here.
Yep, I'll stall.
Eventually you gotta move me. They do. Maybe one more attempt here. 4 Twisted Minds on defense, and this is going to be rough, right? Moving into some of this Bastion damage, the grenades coming through the choke here. Only so much defense matrix. It's going to be UB actually here. Might be the one to touch, coming from the low ground.
A Pulse Bomb would give them a chance to move on out and get a foothold, but the pressure's already being applied on that high ground. Violet found Quartz right at the beginning, and the Pulse Bomb was unsuccessful ultimately there for UB. Not good signs at all for Twisted Minds, and they collapse. Oh, that's so bad. Just can't be doing that on a stage like this.
Just no reaction.
Because he's like, get me off Tracer, guys. Get me off.
Thousands of times as we take a look at Knife here on the Bastion, just clean up crew. Oh, shoot, just so nasty there on the Ana.
No one's doing like it. No one's bothering to do it like it.
When we get back in, it's going to be Bernard actually the benefits of the Nano. It's going to be UB. That ice block is already used.
Yeah, look at Catnap going in. Good defense matrix used to try and protect Violet, but it's not quite enough because Quartz is a sharp shooter. All right, out of mech, self-destruct this here, or do Simple just left milling about. This is pressure on another level from ZETA Division. They'll happy to take these exchanges if they stay ahead in them. And tempo rests with them.
And that was a pretty sick play by UB. Didn't have the ice block up right away. Used the Maywall to just kind of block the self-destruct, then ends up trying to duel proper with the help of Funny Astro, just not able to live. If you're Twisted, you can get just a hold here, not at map completion. You would feel amazing.
Yeah. Slow the game down by any means possible. That's a good start. Proper falling into a trap that many lesser Tracer players have done in their time. Is just eating a little bit too much damage from a plucky Kiriko player.
And I think the benefits here for Twisted Minds, right? This is not a great point here at the end for Jetpack Hat. No, doesn't have like a lot of flanking angles, can't take advantage of a ton of verticality. It's a pretty good point for May. 2 minutes on the clock as well, with some changes coming out of ZETA Division, going to kind of get a nice ultimate advantage here, Twisted Minds. You're probably looking at 2-3 fights, or they may have a chance to do it.
Bernard to the Orisa, so basically demanding that the fight take place on the cart and then commanding that space. You've got to give Twisted Minds significant incentive, though, to fight in a bit of a disadvantageous spot.
Yeah, high ground Cassidy, though, kind of nasty for Orisa to work through.
Those javelins sometimes can herald big kill opportunities. Good protection there from TVNT, though. That was a very heads-up fence matrix. And there's Knife down. Quartz is repaying that peel with interest. Knife picked off, but it's a 1-for-1 at best. And now Proper, though, might have a chance to break through. Simple run down. Pulse Bomb there on TVNT is going to account for enough of the damage, and Proper sticking around. Recalls out of the self-destruct. Now in the Blizzard, TVNT trying to shelter. Violet traded for UB, though. The May is out of the game, and TVNT once more is destructing. But he got Shu and Violet both together. This is a huge way to slow ZETA down.
Yeah, I mean, ZETA obviously can't move forward here without either of their supports. UB does a nice job dropping that Blizzard. It actually allows TVNT to get into mech yet again. I think Funny Astros also had a great map Mitch here since going over the Lucio, being able to kind of protect Quartz. They're just knocking Proper off course at any time.
Tuna Rush coming out, also Kekai Sanctuary to really dominate this left side of the map. ZETA Division is set up here just to usher the cart forward in this last push of their attack side. Deadeye makes some space. ZETA don't really have the time to lose here, though. That's the issue. Playing in a line of sight as much as they can. They got a little pocket there behind Quartz that's a little bit uncomfortable, I'm sure. Knife with an overclock to the high ground, and TVNT doesn't have the cooldowns to get to him. Oh, pulls up short on the Mega Health Pack. And there's the mech dealt with. Good damage from up on high, and Quartz will be smashed by an overclock. It's not pretty. It's not easy. It's not quick. The ZETA Division finish the map.
TVNT was really hunting for that Mega, right? Gonna wrap around that side, try and get that Mega health pack, then make it double back to the point. Maybe you end up building up towards a self-destruct. With how bad the first 2 points of defense were for Twisted Minds, pretty awesome scenario they find themselves in, right? So obviously would have loved to get a hold, but still having them finish with no time in the time bank, pretty important.
I do feel, though, that the side of the map where the absence of the sim is going to be that much more palpable is their attack side. I think that's where they hurt that much more.
May's not going to be an awesome option here, although we've seen them do it. Can you try Pharah here off the rip? But then I think if, you know, they play Cap Bastion, it's GG on the Pharah, right?
So playing Ana. Playing Ana and something like Sojourn into that, I would not like to be the Pharah. OWCS 7.5k damage done. Knife about equal with him though. 9 deaths for Simple. ZETA Division.
Look at the support damage from ZETA. I mean, they're basically ahead in healing and then, like, you know, almost 10k damage amongst the two of them as well. Oh, a Domina here from ZETA Division.
Okay.
So we've obviously seen teams play more Domina than we have throughout the whole of, I know, OWCS this year at this event. This time it'll be ZETA Division's chance to play it.
She'll really slow the game down, and with the jetpack catch, she'll always be returned to this high ground, which is really annoying.
Yeah, I mean, she can also just kind of like disrupt players from coming off this high ground, right? The knockback, really strong.
Oh, what is this, bro? Like, get out.
Being able to kind of like farm up.
They need mobility
high ground.
and stat.
Yeah. Like, imagine if we had Sim right now.
That would be kind of nice, right? We could just circumvent this whole dog and pony show, but no, we've got to play the game, God forbid.
TVNT taking so much damage from every direction.
Oh yeah, Violet's happy to linger around as well, because Benar is still acting as a fulcrum point for the rest of ZETA Division. Spots like that feel a little bit uncomfortable, but very quickly.
Dude, Violet is so fast with those grapples, and then just kind of like launching them up, just using their momentum.
Right, Violet there, just, couldn't quite get back to the dominant position. TVNT with the bio, I don't think he cares for now. He'll be healed up, going after Knife. With the Emerald off the field, Benar now very deep in enemy territory in an awkward spot. This will be a Twisted Minds fight win.
Yeah, Benar already here with a Domino ult.
An Upscon.
Gonna throw it in there on top of Yubi. Probably tells me we are going to have a swap here for Benar.
Yes.
So it was just him and Proper at that time, or maybe they say, hey, it's working, we're gonna stick with it. No, they're gonna go over and play the Diva here. So Twisted Minds finally get the cart moving. And luckily for them, they don't have to use anything to do it. This next fight's gonna be massive. They need to set a good time through this first part of the map.
And I think ZETA Division are happy just to slow this down as much as they can. They'll give up the checkpoint at some point, sure. But they don't want to let Quartz and Coach snowball this game out of control. Give Twisted Minds a massive time bank. That's just not acceptable for them. Here's Benar. Looking to just control Quartz's damage and stake his claim to the top of Big Earls, and Simple spotted on that low ground. That's a very important pulse bomb out of Proper, but try as Benar might, he couldn't stop Simple from taking a trade there, at least blatantly. He gets this Kiriko out of the game, but it's back and forth stuff. ZETA Division now down to just 2 players left. And you're hoping that Shu can give you some healing. That's why Benar's playing up on the high ground, but there's too much coming his way.
Yeah, they almost are like, hey, we have no chance of closing the gap with Shu. We are just going to ignore him and just hopefully just kind of get rid of Bernard. Shu able to kind of keep himself alive there.
They're going for an override protocol over the top. Violet as well, trying to hold them still. It doesn't work at all. Again, he's punished. This self-destruct is a problem. Knife was dead anyway. He wouldn't have been able to escape from that because he really lacked the mobility in that form.
Maybe they kind of go for that at the end. Tracer Genji here. Okay, no, it's going to be Knife going back, playing the Sojourn.
I reiterate, you cannot let Twisted Minds win the Simban map.
Oh, yeah, I mean, it would be just a colossal waste here from ZETA Division. Twisted is able to escape this with a win.
3 minutes 10 on the clock. Healthy time bank. ZETA Division work quick on their attack side, in fairness. Twisted Minds have been slowly but surely exerting their dominance here. The Defense matrix not enough there, though, to keep Simple alive. Nice little push up to ZETA Division. Want to abuse that naturally advantageous defense side high ground.
Looks like right again, Proper just kind of airdropping in a pulse bomb when we get back into game, but done a nice job of kind of controlling him a little bit on the Tracer. Now he's starting to heat up a little bit. It'll be a Kitsune rush here for Simple.
Proper, not too bothered about it, still trying to find a kill within these tight confines. Yubi's down in with that Kitsune rush in play, but Proper's not able to get the mega health pick. That's a pretty big pick up there for Funny Astro. Able to draw a bead on the Superstar and neutralize him for the next 10 or so seconds.
Yeah, I mean, they're so worried about Proper, right? They actually, TVNT, not able to live there on the payload, gets demech'd. Violet eventually, basically playing in a DPS.
Finds constantly checking his 6.
Of course, yeah, I mean, just players constantly circling around. TVNT here going to go over the Zarya here, just trying to bully Bernard off the cart.
So it's like the 180 turn becomes part of his nervous tick. Proper the recall. Continuing to occupy this spot. TVNT's gone over to the Zarya this time. That's a crazy look for this Twisted Minds team. Can they bully their way through this choke? Violet has Bernard out of there. Can they get him back to health? The answer is yes. Bernard has a self-destruct to guarantee that he can go once more, and that's Funny Astro. I mean, it would have been Bernard or Knife either way, but they find that Lucio elimination. It puts them deep, though. It puts them within striking distance to someone like Quartz. But yeah, tensions are high. 90 seconds left for Twisted Minds. A big bleed of clock.
I mean, every time we're on board with Twisted Minds, Simple and Quartz looking behind them, looking in front. I mean, just players coming in every which direction. Just not been able to get comfy here on offense on Route 66. Zarya here up on the high ground. No way, obviously Sim out here. No able to get any mobility. Bio hits Funny Astro. It'll be an overclock here from Quartz.
Quartz has a double back there as his Violet just appear out of nowhere. She was worried for a moment. Thought TVNT was coming after him, but the Zarya never quite made it there. Now slept. Should have taken him down when you had the chance, TVNT. Pulled on away now. TVNT hoping to turn this 50 charge into something, but he'll be reset to 0 as Twisted Minds. We're on 35 seconds left to play.
We're on with Quartz, and you see that POV. You don't even see Violet on your screen when he just kind of comes on in. The drive-bys by the Jetpack Cat of ZETA Division, now trying to just bring in Proper over the top. Violet gonna drag him back out to the rest of the team here.
Simple there, knows he's under some pressure, but it's Kitsune Rush all the same. Violet's trying to get back in position at the top of your screen there. Can ZETA Division outmaneuver right now because TVNT is in the middle of the map, an important place to be, and sees Violet this entire time. Some charge would be nice though. He's not hitting particularly hard right now, but Violet was dealt with in the end. Here's a grab, Proper held in place, an easy target or so you'd think, eventually brought down, but not before Shu extracts his toll. Funny Astro off the map now, but with Knife and Proper having fallen, ZETA Division running out of options to sleep on the Quartz here, as Shu will go down, kicking and screaming, but go down all the same. And Twisted Minds will allow a shot at a time bank extension. TVNT is back, and ZETA Division are in tatters.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think, Violet's going to be able to clutch this. I mean, you do get Proper back here with the Pulse Bomb. Violet with a catnap. He is lurking. You're also going to have Knife here up on the high ground.
You can win the map here.
He's going to go with a big stun.
Got to be timed well. Proper gets the stall. Here's Violet knocking people away. Catnapping, not really there. No, we'll give it up. Violet will save that ultimate for later on, if he even sticks to the Jetpack Cat in this last phase of the map. But Twisted Minds will be offered the opportunity to play us into extra innings here on Route 66.
Yeah, I mean, maybe if Proper lives and you get one with a Pulse Bomb, you think about going for it there. So it looks like Violet, at least for now, going to continue with that Jetpack Cat. Switched off of it on offense here because the way the map is laid out here towards the end, not ideal for it. Proper wins the Tracer battle there with Yubi. So we are already under a minute to go.
And he's been doing it all game. He has been ever present, a constant threat. Dropping down into the back line and looking to try and take an easy elimination. Even a hard one.
I mean, you also have, Violet playing from this position, but Bernard switching over to the Zarya. I mean, you're putting bubbles onto your Jetpack Cat as they get aggressive. I mean, you also see Violet third-personing there, probably making the call-outs to Proper exactly where these players are going.
Big pulse in the works, I can't feel it. Oh, way past Funny Astro! Pin the bomb into Lucio! That'll be that fight. Twisted Minds now will be forced to their last legs. Forced to one knee.
Look at how he's just moving them around the map, right? Just trying to launch Bernard maybe up to the high ground. You get Shu there I think they have no idea, Mitch, that Shu is going to be playing up on this high ground here with potentially a bio coming on through. It doesn't really connect with anything, though.
Yeah, like the idea, but timing wasn't quite there. Still, Knife is uncontested in the back line with his overclock. Now trying to turn his attention to the rest of the fight, because Bernard did get burned down in the front line in the Zarya battle. But Knife is gone. Here come Twisted Minds, a player advantage to work with and a chance to take a breath. They see the end of the map beckoning. They see an opportunity to take us back to 1 minute extra innings where they're on even footing. That would be absurd.
Oh, I mean, it felt like a dream for Twisted Minds to make that happen. 2 grabs going to be available, most likely 2 pulse bombs as well. We hit OT.
The grab here for both sides could be massive. Benar and TVNT both with the keys to the city, but it's going to be Benar that strikes first. Pulse bomb on TVNT, and it's not enough to save him. ZETA Division strike first and strike hardest. And now Proper needs to clean up. It's simple down. Violet and Benar did fall, but you got the goat on Tracer. Forget about it. ZETA Division are no longer carefully approaching the throne, bowing and scraping. No, they're here to seize the title before Twisted Minds can reorganize themselves.
That's a rough map there for Twisted Minds. Look, one where the Symmetra ban is used and they put up a valiant effort, but a somewhat expected result there on Route 66. Just take a look at some of the highlights. Violet on the cat, just being a nuisance, putting Shu in the best possible positions. That is just a filthy pulse bomb there. Only Proper can hit those. Quartz almost makes it interesting here towards the end. He finds 2 somehow.
That guy is just, he's running on instinct at this point, as I'm sure many of us here in the room. Let's check in with our experts to try and give some sense to the madness that we're witnessing.
Thank you so much, Mitch and Matt. He called us experts, Johnny. Now we have to deliver. There's a lot of pressure.
I can handle it. We've done this for a while.
You can? Okay. Let's lock in, just like our teams are currently doing, because, listen, Twisted Minds, they tied up the series, but now the Simban came out on Route 66, and just like expected, they started to struggle there. But let's talk about Suravasa first here, Johnny. What went right, what went wrong? Because Twisted Minds, they took that one fairly convincingly in the end.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy that we find ourselves here after 5 maps, and neither of the teams have really flinched. They've won the maps they needed to win, rather. And you saw here how comfortable Twisted Minds were on Suravasa. I actually said behind the scenes that, ironically, this is a map where if they played Crazy Raccoons, then Junbin would have loved to play something like the Wrecking Ball here and really made that work. But instead, Bernard forced over onto the Doomfist. And this look just wasn't as powerful for ZETA Division. Twisted Minds, they've dealt with a composition like this so many times before, and they felt really comfortable here on Suravasa.
What are your thoughts on Doomfist in the meta? We've seen it a few times now in this tournament. Is he in? Is he out? Is he too niche? Well,
that's the problem, right? Like a lot of these teams, they default to Doomfist as a Symmetra counter, and we've seen many teams bring it up. Donghack, for example, but Doomfist has been receiving a couple of nerfs, not as potent anymore. And you can see in a matchup like this, that makes a world of difference as we headed over here to Route 66.
Yeah, Route 66, of course, there is where the big Symmetra ban was utilized by ZETA, and they abused it because we now had to have UB going against Proper's Tracer, one of the best to ever do it. That's a tall order for any great Tracer we have in the league.
Yeah, 100%. UB, obviously, he has a great Symmetra player, and he also is a pretty decent Tracer player. But it's not like he can hang with the likes of Proper in a matchup like this. And even Violet on the Jetpack Cat came in and added some extra pressure. I think Violet has had a really good series. And as I look forward to the rest of this series might come down to Violet's performance on the Jetpack Cat. Really volatile player, sometimes make game-winning plays, but sometimes as well get ahead of himself. When we saw it on Neon Junction a couple of times, Violet getting deep into the backline, but getting punished for it. So this is a real back-and-forth series so far, everything kind of going as expected for both teams. But it comes down to the individual play. Players like Violet on the Cat, Funny Astro, needing to make sure that in every single moment get value from that sound barrier. One Ajax could make a world of difference in a series like this one. But so far, neither team has really flinched, and we're coming down to the final 2.
Okay, so no real individual mistakes, or not at least big ones, are being made. So is this really just going to be a compositional chess game in the end?
This is going to be a chess game, but as the series progresses, you dispose a hero ban, you can't use it later on in the series. So now we're getting to map 6, map 7, and ZETA Division. Their bans are so powerful because Twisted Minds, they like to play this consistent composition of the Symmetra, the Sojourn, the Diva de Lucio Kiriko. But as ZETA Division has dispelled those bans, used them already, suddenly Twisted Minds are able to play their own game and they grow into the series. So 3-2 scenario here for ZETA Division, but Twisted Minds, they definitely are confident in this one yet.
I do like that we do see some different looks from those teams. I mean, very early on Route 66, we even saw the Domina. Yes, we switched off of it very quickly, but do you still feel like that's a viable pick in any situation here?
Like, the Domina has actually been like a bit of a sneaky pick so far, so I'm not going to count it out. But the problem is, Twisted Minds have played a lot of Reinhardt so far, and Reinhardt might come into the mixer as well. That's another ban that ZETA Division already used on Neon Junction. So now, when we go to map 6, the map pool is going to reset, which means that a lot of these maps open up again. The game modes open up for ZETA, or for Twisted Minds rather. Where do they want to go? You can go Control, Flashpoint, regardless if you already played that map mode already. And so the Reinhardt might come out to counter the Domina, and that is a hero that ZETA Division will have to plan for accordingly.
That's right, so Twisted Minds get to choose the map, but then also we're going to look at the bans that they can utilize against ZETA, because I think they have not banned Jetpack Cat yet, so that would be, in my opinion, the next logical step for them.
Yeah, 100%, and like I said, Violet has been so critical so far on that cat, so that is a ban that they can use if they need be.
Yeah, let's send it down to the floor. We have Jake and Pocket soaking it all in. Let's hear their thoughts on how this series progresses.
You smell that, Jake? Passion. A whole lot of gamer passion in this venue.
It's been incredible. The fan support out here in Paris is amazing. The crowd showing up, not just for the teams you'd expect, right, but really the global audience is here. It's an amazing moment here at the Esports World Cup. And Bucket, you know, this match, these first 5, they feel like almost formality. For me, this one has to go to distance to 7.
Can I go ahead and call them out, though?
Please.
Twisted Minds fans have been silent. I haven't heard any noise from this whole section. Probably because they don't understand my English right now, but it's been a little bit softer than it was at the start of this matchup. Can they get back in the series and force this to go all the way to a 7?
They have to, but this is their best chance to do it, Bucket, because now that the map pool opens back up, there's a lot of opportunity for them to strike back hard in map 6. But honestly, from here on out, it's anybody's game. I mean, fatigue setting in, not only for the fans, but for the players too. Like, this has been a long day of Overwatch for everybody. This is the true test, though, where champions are crowned, and, you know, for the second place team, a key to be crushed.
1 goal, 1 trophy. We got some fantastic art. We have some fantastic audience members. I found a guy repping an NA jersey. We got a Team Liquid member here. So as an unbiased fan, are you going ZETA Division or TM?
You know, I'm sitting on the TM side, so I kind of feel overwhelmed that I gotta rep TM on this one.
Very smart thing. There's a lot of people watching that answer from you. And who has been the best player on TM throughout this matchup?
Obviously Quartz. Obviously Quartz.
Jake, I feel like this guy knows ball.
I mean, look, it doesn't take a genius to spot Quartz. What he's doing on the server is monstrous. Incredible performance from both sides. But ZETA, they have the edge for now. I mean, I could see them closing it out here. TM need that resurgence. They need that energy to force this to Game 7.
Jake and I are about to take a seat with the fans and chew on some baguettes. In the meantime, the show continues with these beautiful faces.
Well, thank you so much, Pocket and Jake. Yeah, they got some good seats there. In fact, every seat in here is a good one. So if you're not here yet with us, then what are you waiting for? There's still maybe 2 or 3 are available because it's crowded, it's packed. Johnny, we all want to see the conclusion of this match. Twisted Minds are on their back foot, but you know what? I am not worried because they have been before. Now, where are they taking us?
It's going to be Eichenwalde, and a map we haven't seen so far at this tournament. Whoa. As we take a look at the bans as well, the Zarya and the Bastion coming out. So Twisted Minds here, making sure that their tanks are protected heading into this very final map. This is going to be a barn burner. I can't wait to see how this grand final unfolds.
What kind of compositions do you expect to see here? Because Eichenwalde, again, as you just said, it's new in the mix here for the map pool. We haven't seen much of it.
Yes, we haven't seen a lot of it so far, and this is a great Symmetra map. That is why Twisted Minds have elected to go here. But I worry a little bit. You can play the Symmetra here, but you're gonna be stuck indoors a lot of the time, both on the first point and the second point, navigating the indoors and putting pressure on the payload. That actually allows ZETA Division to control the skies with something like a Jetpack Cat and surround their opponent. It allows someone like Knife to continue just raining damage down on this Sojourn as well. So Twisted Minds, They've elected to go to Eichenwalde feeling really comfortable on this one, but I actually think that this might set up ZETA Division to close out the series.
Right on, let's find out. They're just one map away from hoisting this trophy, so let's send it back over to Matt and Mitch.
This ZETA Division roster were built to conquer the Overwatch world. And now they stand one map away from fulfilling that mandate. For Twisted Minds, Matt, no more room for error. No more second chances.
They've been in this spot before, though. They are not going to be phased by the moment. Eichenwalde, a little bit of a surprising pick for me. Obviously, we haven't seen this map in the pool, played just yet. The devs kind of talked about it a little bit. This also isn't like a great jetpack cat map, right? Like not a lot of spots to flank potentially. And the devs kind of highlighted of it. Violet's going to play it again. For me, he's like the MVP. I mean, I know people are going to think differently and other opinions. His playstyle on the jetpack cat is unlike anyone else in the tournament, and it's really what has unlocked this team, which kind of feels like an MVP to me. But obviously anybody here on this ZETA Division squad could take that role. Really good D.Va map here for TVNT. That's probably why you also get rid of the Zarya as well. Protect that. The gates open, nothing too surprising here from Twisted Minds. Ramatra's the pick here for Bernard.
Zarya ban here for Twisted Minds as well. Also might ward Bernard away from direction. Just seen some effectiveness over the course of this series. UB, though, just, again, it's pretty tough to create that spacing away from these dangerous enemy front lines. This has been a pretty dominant defensive display off the bat.
So they try and collapse on Shu, and then all of a sudden Shu starts going flying through the sky. Take a look here from Shu's POV. Bio grenade there, pretty huge as soon as the pressure comes in. Here I go. And then,
that is so hard to do.
Nasty stuff there from Shu.
All right. Yeah, okay, let's see you do it again. Astonishing moment. What a superstar. Twisted Minds keep taking a more circuitous route to try and get towards them.
TVNT's going to get DMX here. Yeah, not able to make it back. He actually kind of gets body blocked by that doorway.
Twisted Minds are trying to outmaneuver here, Matt. They're trying to, get into a decent rotation, but on the way, they're taking a ton of damage. They're getting hit by biotic grenades, and TVNT gets DMX. This is a terrible start for Twisted Minds on a must-win map.
If you would have asked me, I would have thought maybe they gone back to control and played like Nepal. We've seen them obviously have great results on Nepal. But they decided Eichenwalde is the answer. Maybe they think that ZETA is going to take us to control if we get a 7th map.
Oh, what an opener! Water's down!
Yeah, I mean, TVNT just turns to go try and chase Violet, just drags them all the way back to the spawn.
This is not where you want to be at all. We are halfway through the attacker's time bank here. Twisted Minds are in disarray. They've picked this map, thinking maybe it's an edge for them. Maybe they've been working on something, and I think this theory has already met some stiff opposition.
Yeah, I mean, Court's over to the Cassidy here. You need to punish Violet with a hinder. If he kind of comes on down, gets close, there'll be annihilation here for Bernard. Catnap here.
Staying pretty healthy. Violet might need to heal Bernard. No, says, you know what? The best defense is a good old offense. I'm gonna fire these poor blasters.
Knock back onto the map.
That's just rude.
And why, if you're on the cat, why do you even need to heal Bernard? Because if you just do the damage.
Yep.
Before they can do enough damage to Bernard.
Frankly, Bernard was fine anyway. Bro's chilling.
Yeah, he's got block, he's got annihilation. He's set up perfectly to succeed.
Time is getting a little short, folks. And Yubi trying to get through and get hit with the biotic grenade. Shu just waits for him to come. That was a pretty important pickup to get the Yana, and she will be a little slow to get back into the fray. The TVNT just throws himself off the map to avoid being staggered. We are down to the last minute. Twisted Minds. These fans never quite heard them quieter.
Yeah, they are silent here in Paris.
Stony-faced.
Minute to go. No support ults to work with. Simwall available. TVNT finally actually gets into the back line, deals with Knife. He may end up losing his mech, but's got self-destruct.
That was big. Yeah, Bio didn't really matter in the end, Matt. They kept TVNT alive long enough, and he did is a very important work. Nice switching over towards Genji for a moment, but I think ZETA realizing here there's just no chance of contesting this. Wait a minute! Malga? Okay, guys. Let's just take a breath.
Looks like
here's some old charge.
Yeah, here's not gonna be an over the top that we remember there. Sends the Malga flying to his death.
Momentum means so much right now. You've got to create a mini snowball if you can. But that body grenade for Shu might have extinguished it in a heartbeat. ZETA now have this high ground control. No chance for Twisted Minds to meaningfully push out forward. And look, it's another 3-player biotic grenade. That is going to be a regularity if you don't unseat Shu somehow, Matt.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be the sim wall here with the nano boost onto Bernard that tries to buy them some space as Bernard's in a lot of trouble. Now, obviously, the one thing with Ana, right, is not going to be able to kind of heal Bernard through that sim wall, so kind of splits him off from the Ana of Shu. They were able to just kind of burn him down as a must-needed fight win there for Twisted Minds. Catnap here comes on in.
Oh, no.
TVNT.
Violet knows he himself has to go down there in that exchange.
It's a 1-for-1 you'll take, right?
I mean, it ends the fight instantly.
Yeah.
We've seen that a couple of times from Violet, just to find these like real tempo killers.
Oh, I mean, that stops. You would have had control over the bridge here. Maybe Quartz is on the high ground. It just stops everything.
TP, they avoid the pulse bomb dropped in their wake there by Proper. All of Twisted Minds set up on the card right now, but for the next 5 or so seconds, they can't TP away from this spot. So what's the response? ZETA Division are going to come up with an answer and come up with it soon now. The Vortex is thrown at the card, but it is still hurtling towards those doors. ZETA Division have to have a plan, and it involves Shu shooting Quartz in the face. Apparently, is nice and safe here, as TVNT won't be given a chance to rematch, because if the Shu fits, it's going to get stuck when the sun don't shine. That is disgusting! 3 for Shu, uncontested. Fighting to deliver a championship to ZETA fans everywhere.
The only one playing really any Ana in this tournament. Shots there on the courts. TVNT gets in the mix. Bio grenade nasty, just a little jump shot over the top. The tracking of Shu is unreal.
He just might be him.
Oh, he'd already used.
Now you be down here as well. This is getting a bit rushed, a bit hurried here for Twisted Minds. They realize they're at the end of their rope. 22 seconds left of Bernard's annihilation. Surely is going to quench them, Matt. And now only the fire inside.
Nano used there onto Knife when he had the overclock. Yubi over to the Tracer. I wonder if they feel like anybody can get a touch here. I mean, Yubi's in a world of trouble. I don't think he's going to be able to make it there.
5 seconds left to play. TVNT desperately running, rolling, trying to touch. It's not to be! And the win condition for ZETA Division has been established. 1 checkpoint and change will get you home and get you the championship.
See if they can seal the deal. Players have all been champions before, but not with ZETA Division in this new look for this season. Dude, the stuff that Shu and Violet are able to do. I mean, it's just, nobody else can match this in terms of the support line.
No one else is trying.
I mean, they would be crazy to, right? We would be laughing at, like, if we saw other teams and supports trying to do this as the Jetpack Cat boxes out the ball there. Sets a clear path to victory for ZETA Division. Does TM have one more trick up their sleeve? Being able to get a hold here on defense, send us to a Game 7. The Sim probably, pretty potent on defense, right? Going to be annoying to work through here in the choke. See how ZETA deals with it. TM they go down with the comp that they are the best at. Potentially a different look here for ZETA. Yeah, they're gonna go all out here, Mitch. Xion, Reaper, Malga. The Kiri Cat in the mix. Typically don't see the Malga come from this angle.
Yeah, a little bit odd to see him there dropped on in, but straight on into the hunting lodge here. Funny Astro's awkward. He's able to stay alive there, importantly. UB, though, is the loss. That's the casualty for Twisted Minds. But TVNT still alive and kicking, and Quad still doing his thing. So far, the house stays intact.
It's one way to get through the choke, right? Just airdrop the Maga directly over it. Everybody has to back up to respect that hero. Proper Wraith form gets used here. Violet, yeah, that's what you need to be doing there consistently if you're TVNT. Vortex behind him, gonna try and wait it out there. Nice use of the defense matrix from TVNT, gonna get back to the choke, but
yeah, that little invulnerability window for the Suzu player gives you so much time to get him top back up. TVNT knew he was under no threat there. It's a free kill to push up and get on Violet. Kitsune Rush is coming at about the same time, though. Shu and Simple have them both developed here, and they're going to be popped straight away. Simple first, Shu second, doesn't matter. We've got roads overlapping. Proper taken down very early. Talked about how the Reaper can stifle his skill expression. Here is just Quartz with his own brand of skill. On display, his Shu's knocked down to side. Big headshot, forces the carry out of the fight, and Quartz doubles back for the rest of his meal.
I mean, always a potential path to victory for Twisted Minds. Is Quartz just dominating the game. It'll be the catnap here. It's going to get Yubi all the way to the spawn.
How's he alive still? Okay, defense matrix there for TVNT. Now the D.Va has to get out alive.
And now we just drop Bernard into the back line.
Yep, this is going to be too quick as well. Nemesis farm from Bernard, nobody ready. Cat amongst the pigeons now as all of Twisted Minds scatter. But Bernard a little bit isolated here on account of being deep in enemy territory. Still healthy enough though, and still found Simple. Twisted Minds feel their grip on point A loosening.
And it's the Jetpack Cat yet again. Violet diving on in on that hero, grabbing Yubi, bringing him back to the spawn, somehow able to live, then dropping Bernard into the back line. Just no other hero can give you that type of advantage. No other player playing this hero can give you this type of advantage. Gets the high ground, tries to go with a knock there, somehow able to live.
And he's just wrapped around behind them. This guy is just dialed in. The Jetpack Cat's such a nuisance. Violet is everywhere all at once. Now Proper picks up where Violet left off. 3 damage on an enemy D.Va. I'll take that. TVNT is low. How are they going to get him healed up in time? TP him away. Quickly tend to his wounds. But this is all time that ZETA Division can use to set up, to progress. 3 minutes 20 is their time bank. Simple stretching himself thin to try and keep Quartz alive on that off angle. Now Kitsune Rush comes on down. A 1-for-1. Bernard, another annihilation, but needs healing. Needs it badly. Tries to hide out of line of sight, but eventually brought down as Twisted Minds weather the storm.
Maybe a huge fight win there. Bernard gonna go over to the D.Va, try and match TVNT here. This is a huge fight. ZETA, obviously, catnap, Kitsune Rush. You can weather this storm if you're Twisted Minds. Dream starts to become real of getting this hold.
I can't even imagine what awaits us on the other side of this 2 minutes and 40, Matt. If it's even that long. Catnap here for Violet. He's got his eyes on only one target. Catches out Quartz. Tries to drag him down to the depths. Quartz though to slide back up. He won't be down so easily. He's able to find Knife on the return, but it's not going to be enough. ZETA Division breakthrough. Twisted Minds yet again with 2 minutes 20 to go. Victory is within their grasp.
It's going to be Violet going back to spawn. Think to go grab Knife. Bring him over the top. Get him back in the action rather quickly. Still a little bit more to go. Bernard is going to try and deny some of the exits here. Proper with a pulse bomb here up the high ground. Is he going to go through the window?
They're not ready. They don't know what's coming. Now, Proper Herald is a rival. Gets rid of the TP at the very least. This is a bit awkward now for Twisted Minds, but they're committed. They know there's only one way out of this fight, and that is through ZETA Division. Stake their claim to the high ground, up on the castle, and that will be enough to buy them some moments to breathe, a chance to set up.
I think they know that Violet's underneath them. Not going to be able to kind of really go engage with the cat.
Nothing like the pitter-patter little paws to give it away, Matt.
No, he's... Look at this.
Oh my god. He has the knockback perk now available, so... Oh, he has the slash perk, excuse me, so still dangerous in a 1v1.
They're running out of time here, and if he dies, they're in a bit of trouble.
Minute 15 on the clock. Porte very mindful about Proper just turning up at a moment's notice, and that could be it. The opener from Knife, and he twists it in the back of these mines. Now Simple, just flat, nowhere to go at all. Twisted Minds in desperation know they've got to pull TVNT out of there, but if he dies here, it's all over. He's got to get back to the card. He's got to go for a self-destruct, and he needs to get his mech back, but it's not to be. Bernard finds himself a couple, and Talent will give these guys a seat at the table, but it never promised them a championship. Nothing was given. Everything was earned. ZETA Division are your 2026 mid-season champions.
In just an unbelievable display of skill, matched with teamwork, the coordination really came together there for ZETA Division. Twisted Minds so close to yet another championship. 2 finals back-to-back, they're just not able to get it done against Korea's best. You see Knife, just how happy he is to get one under his belt.
Spent a long time on this ZETA Division roster through multiple eras of that team, waiting for his chance to be called up to play alongside these giants, but he didn't stand on their shoulders. He stood on his own 2 feet and towered over the competition. 5 extraordinary careers were brought together for a shared purpose. Here in Paris, purpose has become permanence, and ZETA Division will ascend to the throne. And yes, a new era in Overwatch begins tonight. South Korea back on top, and let's head down to Ian on the floor.
High emotions, what a win for ZETA Division here at the Esports World Cup. They are your champions. Before you raise your trophy, there's something we need to do. One more key crush.
이제 우승 컵을 들어올리기 전에 마지막으로 해야 할 일 하나 있죠. 마지막 키를 부수는 일만 남았습니다, 여러분. 한 분이 가셔서 바로 키 부수러 가시겠습니다. 여러분 다 이쪽으로 가시죠.
Any of you can step forward and do the honors here. The last key to be crushed for Overwatch at the Esports World Cup here. Please join our key master and complete the mission. Every team comes here believing that this can be their moment. Twisted Minds came closer than all but one. And that one is ZETA Division. Twisted Minds, key is crushed and will be sent to the graveyard with the rest. But what a run it was. Gentlemen, the time has come. Please raise your trophy in front of this crowd.
바로 앞으로 나오셔서 바로 트로피 틀어 올리시겠습니다.
This is it. Ladies and gentlemen, your Overwatch Champion Series mid-season champions at the Esports World Cup. It's... Hold on.